Today is a very special occasion. Aside from the fact that it's Freedom Day today, we are coming in live with Bob talking to his wife.
The-deliver daw seafood sa amin ngayon eh. So that's
Uy,
good.
may delivery seafood. Good morning, guys. Guys pa rin, no? Good morning. My name is George, and welcome to Boomer's Banquet. Today, we're so fortunate to have the alumni, all right, the aging alumni of that radio station called WLS. And we're very fortunate to have almost all the jocks who went on board in that particular radio station way back from the 80s to the 90s, etc., etc. Before we introduce everyone, let's call on Bob first. Bob.
Hello, good morning. And even the friends of the personalities there are in also. And we're happy that you're waiting for this and eager to come into. Please be generous with your comments kahit na medyo matanda yung kausap nyo. And we're just happy to have you, everyone. It's a nice reunion. It's always nice having these people aboard. Some of whom hindi natin naabutan. And some of whom hindi na umabot sa akin. So there, welcome everyone to Boomer's Banquet.
Morning. Teddy Espereña.
Meaningful Independence Day. And welcome to the DWLS Disc Jockeys.
Yun, no?
Siyempre,
no?
Bio-fresh din.
Bio-fresh pa rin. At saka yung t-shirt natin, Teddy, huwag kakalimutan, di ba? From Design Makati. Oo, no?
Parang may katarata yung camera mo ngayon, Ted.
Oo nga, bakit ganon? Bakit may katarata yung camera mo?
parang umahong ka galing swimming, tapos nakikita mo.
Yan. Tignan mo, baka punasan mo na yung camera.
Yung lens.
Oo, yung lens. Oo.
Turaan mo muna, tapos punas-punasan mo, pwede.
Punasan ko ng bio-fresh. Bio-fresh.
Punasan mo ng bio-fresh. Yun.
Ayan, malinaw na.
Okay, let's get on with our guests. First of all, no, yung early bird, unfortunately he has to leave us later because he still has a show on ABS-CBN Teleradio, the legendary Dr. Love, June Banaag. Good morning, June.
Good morning, George. Good morning, everybody. Nakaka-nervous ng mga kasama ko, mga institution rito sa radyo. Nervous akong kasama itong mga ito eh. We've been together for quite some time. Si George, nagkasama kami for a while.
June, can you imagine, 40 years na yata tayo magkasama? No? Mga ganon, 30 to 40 years.
Oh.
Grabe, no?
We're still in the business.
Oo. And thank you for joining us.
Kami nga ni Brother June, biro mo, 30 years na sa ABS-CBN pero di kami nakikita.
Panggabi ako eh.
And then we have another guest. Ito, memorable sa akin because I first met him in a bar called Hard Rock Cafe in Adriatco. Yung fake na Hard Rock Cafe noon, no? Colorum yun, na naging 10 years after. But anyway, he was the star DJ in that radio station, in that bar. Eventually, he became a DJ on radio. Manny Pagsuyu and Jimmy Jam. Good morning, Jimmy.
Morning. Morning, guys. Glad to be here. On air, sort of, on the net. But thanks for the invite, George. And great to see you again, Bob. And of course, Brother June, it's an honor to be here in your presence. And
I'm very honored.
John Hendrix is here also.
Mangumpisal ka kaya? Mangumpisal ka na kaya? No?
Pagkakataon mo na to.
Off the air.
Nakakatakot yung boses ni Jimmy Jam no? Parang
it's just my morning voice. Mamaya yan. Mas mataas na yan mamaya kasi halos kagigising.
Ayun. And then we have, of course, yung panggising ng LS sa umaga. We're talking about John Hendrix. John!
Hi, Sir George. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
It's an honor to be here. It's great to see everyone here this morning. It's great to see, of course, the Bugs, Jimmy, see Brother June. Yes, see Sir Teddy. It's the first time actually I'm meeting some of the distinguished alumni of WLS. And before we went on, I was actually learning a lot of history that I had no knowledge of coming in. So I'm really glad to be here, and thank you very much for the invite, Sir George. Warm body lang ako dito, pero I'm gonna be paying attention more than anyone.
No,
What
good
anyone
buddy
else
ka,
had
good
to say.
buddy.
Good buddy. No? And of course, we have another one, Pogi, he started out as Joe Spinner. He started out with hair before, kagaya ni Jimmy Jam. Medyo naiwan na lang sa baba yung buhok no? Joe Spinner, good morning.
Parehong naman.
He has more hair than I do.
You're on mute?
Hindi, naglag yung
Naglag?
signal niya. Bale, babalik tayo dyan. He'll catch on. Okay ka lang, Coach?
Coach?
Can't hear him.
Yeah. He might be on mute.
Baka naka-mute si Koji. Teka. And then, of course, a lot of people are asking, nasaan si Triggerman and the Mole? Well, si Mole, I guess...
Dealing with technology, si Mol. Hindi alam ang gagawin sa ngayon.
He's trying to figure out how to get into the internet. Mole, naka-blast prepaid ka ba o ano?
Na 3 days niya tinatanong yung anak niya kung paano ayaw siya sagutin.
Naka-ISP Bonanza yata.
ISP
Bonanza. Yung 50 pesos.
Oo nga Let's get started. Si Brother June muna. Because you're the authority here, June. Tell us, how did LS start? How did LS start, June?
Well, it transitioned from an AM station in the mid-70s. Ilan kami mga DJ from DZXX, which was run by Lito Banquet during that time. It was RBS Republic Broadcasting System. And then it was purchased by GMA. So nagkaroon ng transition from Double X, which was a station, I think during that time was a Frank Sinatra station. Mga easy listening music, middle of the road, mga elevator music. So ang boses ng mga DJs doon, parang mga boses yung kalalaki mo. This is for you. And so we transitioned to FM. May ibang mga DJs from Double X na nalipat. But may pumasok na ibang mga bago like Triggerman, Master T, sino pa? Fred James was there.
Fred James.
And then you came in, George, diba?
Yeah.
Anong year ka pumasok sa Double X?
82 or 83, somewhere there. No,
okay.
Right after I got married, I realized I wasn't getting paid enough by my previous radio station, so I had to make a move.
Don't mention the station.
I'm not going to mention it anymore because you went to that station too after. Okay. So anyway, so I had to start planning out for my family. So I went to went to LBJ. And told him I was interested in joining. I remember the most famous commercial of LS that time was "Gee, I love my Kelvinator." What a great refrigerator! Yun lang ang commercial ng LS nun eh. No.
Oh.
Anyway, Jules, so that
When you came in, nandun pa sila Danny Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Lassie.
Everyone was there. As a matter of fact, even when I left, they still stayed on.
I think he took over my slot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I left, yeah.
Ayun. Okay, so we have another one here. It's pretty bright in this area. It's pretty bright.
Almusal pa eh.
Damol.
Bagong gising.
Kumusta na,
Damol.
Damol?
Breakfast pa.
You know why I'm wearing pair of shades? Because I'm the midst of the brightest stars in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Di ba, Bob? Morning, everybody!
Alright. Hey, Mol, have you ever heard of the word hairbrush?
The ones he uses on his
Dalas
teeth.
siya.
Ayun.
Dalas siya.
Mahaba na kaya tumitikwas eh.
Buti ka pa eh.
Ayun.
Have some granola for breakfast.
Granola.
Granola.
Matanda.
Wow, ah. Oh, yan. Yung mga hindi na natutunawan, ayan, yan ang kinakain, granola. No?
May saging naman. Oo.
Ano pa, Bruce?
Yun ang ano eh, no? Oy, Braggy! You're in, Braggy.
Hi,
Good morning
Bragg.
to you.
Yes, hello. Good morning, everyone. Nice to be
Hi,
here.
Fort
May
Bragg.
microphone pa ako hawak, eh. No?
But
Sorry.
you know, I'm really very grateful now to Braggy because he arranged his schedule so he could join us today. We're very grateful for that,
Yeah,
Braggy.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good to be
Madami na tayo, no? So, okay, before we speak with everyone again, let's just say hello to those people who joined us. Ang dami na, oh, grabe, oh.
Ang dami na. Ito rin, naduduling na yung daliri ko.
Oo nga, eh.
Talaga?
Sandali, no?
Naduduling na ang daliri mo, Bob.
Yeah.
Oo nga.
Dami,
Dami, oh, hindi ko na
And we
Hindi
appreciate
ko na
that.
makita
Thank
yung
you.
umpisa, eh. Yeah, it
Layo
reminds
na.
me of the telephones of LS before. Yung ring ng ring, kaya
Eagle yun.
Oo, kaya
Right.
ginagawa natin ng mga DJ, for your information, hinahang nila yung telepono, hindi ba? Yan, hinahang nila yung telepono.
Yes.
Ganun lang naman yun eh. Anyway, let's talk to Jimmy Jam. Jimmy.
Yes. Yes,
I'm
George.
very interested in this, and I'm sure a lot of listeners would be interested to know how you got into radio in the first place.
Well, like George said, that was my first job, working as a DJ in a bar in the fake Hard Rock Cafe. That was in Malate. It's
Yes.
the one that used to be situated next to Cafe Adriatico, which, by the way, is still there. But of course, Hard Rock's no longer there. It used to be the bar with the airplane that's supposedly crashed into the bar. Anyway, that's where I met George. I think it was because of a station that George was with at that time that tied up with Hard Rock.
Drop.
And we had a small radio show every Saturday, and then so since my boss is very OC with his records, plaka pa kasi yung gamit nun eh, wala pang mga CD, ganun, wala pang MP3. So they would bring the vinyl to the station, and they played the records, and the show was hosted by Jiggy, and then he tells me, punta ka doon sa stasyon. Baka mapano yung mga plaka ko eh. Okay, so that was also an in for me. So I got to meet all these DJs. And of course, they also came to the bar. They would hang out there. And that's also how I met George. And then I met a bunch of other DJs that were working with George. And then they took me under their wing. They taught me the ropes. And that's how I got in. I started in other radio stations, and then eventually, which led me to LS. And I want to thank Bob. Bob, salamat nag-resign ka. Kasi dahil nag-resign ka, nagkaroon ng opening sa LS. And once in a blue moon lang yung nag-opening sa LS. And I found out out this through my sister-in-law. She was not my sister-in-law then. Girlfriend ko kasi yung ate niya. And then she was the one who told me. My sister-in-law was actually a newscaster in LS. I don't know if you remember her, Grace de la Peña. And she told me,
si Grace, right?
baka gusto ni Manny mag-apply sa LS. Wow.
Sino ako?
And so that's how I came to applying. And I had already missed the first batch. I says, naku, baka hindi ako makuha. And then there was a second batch pala. So I went to the second batch. And so I went, and there was a lot of applicants that day, I remember. And so we were all there in the lobby. I went up to the mezzanine. And then I see Mo. He's there together with the other DJs. And then but si Mo, dati ko na siyang kilala kasi siyempre I started as a listener din eh. So I used to visit Mo in RJ.
Dati kami.
Kami ingay.
X kayo, X.
Kami ingay. So magkakilala na kami that time. So, I was there amongst all the applicants. And then, nakita ko ni Mo. Tapos, amongst all the people, tinuro niya ako. And then, at the top of his voice, he says, ayun naman pala nandito ka na pala. Ikaw na kukunin namin.
Sandali. Ang ingay ni Mol nguya ng nguya eh.
Ano ba yun? Chicharon ba yan?
Parang chicharon yung granola mo. Sorry, Manny. Tuloy mo na, Jimmy.
So he said that at the top of his voice, and then all of the applicants slowly turned their heads, looking at sino kaya yun. And then so I'm telling Mo, shh. But as fate had it, ako nga nakuha. So ayun. So I got into LS. And again, thank you, Bob, for resigning and moving to that other.
What actually was, I went to the other elephant's graveyard. Punta ako ng DWKB eh. Yun. So patandaan ng DJs na mga kasama ko nun. So, I'm glad you added some youth to WLS, man.
Oo nga eh.
Jimmy.
And speaking of patandaan ng DJs,
but it was really parang surreal when I started in LS because I'm working amongst these guys. I used to listen to them, and now I'm working with them. So it's parang very humbling, it's very, like I said, surreal, and parang it's so unreal. Right? I used to listen to these guys at home in the radio, in the Jeep. Lalakad ako sa National Bookstore. I can hear Master T's voice in the afternoon, and then now I'm working with them. I remember my first few shows. Fred James would step into the booth and tumatambay siya doon. Wala lang. And then yung makapagsalita kasi sobrang na-intimidate ako. And I remember,
mute ko na nga si Mol, nare-request na ng mga ingay.
Wala siya. Hindi ako, no? Walang
ingay nung nguya mo eh.
Ha?
Ang ingay nung nguya mo.
So sobrang intimidated ako eh. Kasi hindi ako makapagsalita. Nandito si Fred James eh. And I remember I used to call him Sir. Hi, Sir. Pero later, siguro mga months later, ano na eh.
Ma'am na, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yung Fred?
Tang Fred.
Itang.
Tataya ka ba?
Yun, tataya, no? Teka, let's speaking.
Alam mo ang breakfast mo? Ano ba yung kinakain mo?
Oo nga eh. Hindi, speaking of
ikaw yun.
Biglang naghang.
Hindi, teka. Speaking of nakakatanda mga DJs, di ba?
Huwag mo akong tignan, George, ha?
Sa KB, tapos sa LS, si Mole, ano? Yung ano,
Oo.
Mol, kumusta ka na? How are you?
Eto, mabeauty pa rin.
Beauty pa rin. Ayan, no?
I'm good.
Bakit mukha kang
I'm good.
very nice, no? So what have you been doing lately, Mol? We've been missing you.
I've been having some wet dreams and
Pare, alam mo solusyon diyan, ha?
ano?
Yung ginagamit sa baby, yung
Lampin.
diapers. Oo. Talagang ganyan pag nagkakaedad na, nagwe-wet dreams na talaga.
Di ba, I was with Neo Retro for a while. Kami nila Bob. And then after that, we were fired.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Uh-huh.
nothing
Kaya ka
so far.
kumakain.
Just at home.
Uh-huh.
Nothing so
Kaya
far.
kumakain
Just
ka.
at home.
Granola na lang. But you started in RJ, right?
Oh yes, after college, sa
Uh-huh.
Baste, I was supposed to teach because I took up English literature, so I was supposed to teach. But before that, I was supposed to be a priest because I went to the seminary.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
And-
after tumatawag si Bob, di pa ako tapos, Bob. And then,
napaka-dubious ng kwento eh. English literature.
Alam mo may patutunguhan eh.
And then actually, yung sa RJ, I learned there was an opening for a newscaster through my brother, whose schoolmate used to work with Economic Monitor, whose offices were housed in the same building RJ was. Anyway, nag-apply ako doon, and then, siyempre, magaling ako eh. Pumasa ako. So I started from scratch actually, as probably everybody did. You know, I used to write
Tagakamot
news.
ng likod ni Tony Burke at saka ni AA.
Kilala pa ni George, oh. Si
Mike
Burke.
Llamas, oh.
Si Mike Llamas, oh. News writer, newscaster for 2 stations, sa AM, sa FM. Yun, tapos, tama, kinikwento ni Jimmy Jam, you know, when we were at the source meaning that's the slogan for the FM station, which actually used to be UW.
Right.
RBS may-ari nun, di ba, George?
Yeah.
Bob?
Jody Stewart yun eh. Jody
Tama.
Stewart yun.
And then, they were playing rock at that time. So, nalaman ni Alan, AA, George, di ba, AA. Tapos, binili yung UW. Kasi, competition. So, he bought competition. And then, initially, it was playing jazz. UW sila. Brother Wayne playing jazz. Sino ba yung mga nandun? Sila Pink Tomato. Pink Tomato used to be Bob Magu, di ba?
Yeah.
And then all female pa yun dati. And then may maraming females. And then eventually, it happened, naging RJ-FM was playing rock. Kasi RT was playing rock at that time because most of the songs they were playing, di ba top 40 yung RT? Yung nasa charts, puro rock. Nagalit si Alan. Sabi niya, FM, rock na lang natin yan. Nag-rock. And then, yun, I stayed there for ilang taon ba ako sa RJ7. Tapos, wala, jobless for I think a few months. Tapos, parang si Jimmy Jam, thank you, George Boone. Kasi nag-resign si George so may opening. Nag-play ko kay Aling Lydia, Mrs. Villegas, remember? Ay, teka muna, alam ba ni Mrs. Villegas itong pangyayari?
Ito?
Kayo ba, kinabisi niyo ba? O ano?
Nagdasal ako sa kanya. Sinabi ko sa kanya eh.
Sila Fred James, saka Master K. Kayo ba, inimbitahan nyo? Hindi.
Nag-aalay pa siya ng patay na kambing eh.
So anyway, wala si George, may opening. Kasi tama, si Jimmy Jam, ang hirap pumasok sa LS. Para kang pumasok, ano yung cliche? Sa butas ng karayom.
Sa butas ng karayom.
Butas na karayom. Kasi parang mafia
Butas
yan
na
yung LS eh.
Mafia.
Parang mafia yan eh. You know, hindi ka pwedeng makapasok.
Oh.
You can't be just good. You have to be very good. Kaya nakapasok ako.
Ayun.
Paano yun? Paano nangyari yun?
yung very good. I still
Migil sila sa berry.
Alam mo, palagay ko nga hindi si Mol yung kumakain eh. Nagsasalita siya, meron pa rin kumakain ng chichron eh.
Okay,
Ayun,
tama. Sabi sa'yo eh. Anyway, si Mrs. Villegas, alam niyo naman si Aling Lydia. Sabi niya, Mol, interviewin ka ni, sino yung George? Bob, yung CEO natin. Mr. Seba.
Si Tony.
Si Mang Tony. Pero, ano yun? Loko-loko yun, sabi niya sa akin. Umanda ka. Baka gaguhin ka nun sa interview. True enough.
Binago ka nga.
Puta, pagdating ko sa opisina niya, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Nagta-type pa
Bahala
rin.
na si Brother John sa'yo.
Ay, sorry po. Nagta-type. Yung manual typewriter pa, yung...
Hindi marunong mag-computer yun eh.
Ayan, ginagano niya. Hindi niya ako tinitignan, gumagano. Wala siya tinatype. Ikaw ba, ba't ka nandito? Ikaw ba, magaling? Sabi ko, siyempre, the usual, alam mo na, yes sir, magaling ako. Magaling ka pala bakit dito? Kasi, the usual spiel na, I want to join a big network, etc. I want to have a bright future. Tangay na. Di ba ganun yun? Nagmumura. Di ba?
Singitan ko muna si Fer Ramirez nakikinig sa atin. Hello, good morning.
And then,
Kanina si Rudy Velez bumati rin. So,
si Sexy Rudy.
si Rudy nandito.
Okay,
Flash natin yung
Ayos.
message. So si Fe, good morning, mga veterano rin.
sabi niya, magaling ka pala. Sige. Magaling ka pala. Sige. Sabi mo kaya Aling Lydia, mag-umpisa ka na bukas. May inom siya.
Wala ka muna sweldo ha.
Di ba gano'n, George? Bob? May inom na scotch yun lagi.
May halong birch tree.
May birch tree. Tsaka, labing
Tsaka
alcohol.
pulutan niya, Master Sardines eh.
So, gano'n. So, I joined the mafia, and, from rock to pop, it was a different scenario kasi siyempre pop, di ba? Daming alam niyo na.
Payola.
Ayun.
And then,
Yun na yun. Brother June.
Brother June, galing ha.
Nakakatawa nga yun. Kayo naambunan. Ako hindi eh.
Ano yung yabot yun?
Nahuli pa
Hindi,
kayo.
Hindi, barya lang ako kasi nasa kanila yung hati. Ganun yun.
Teka muna.
Oo.
Kaya nga Elephant's Graveyard yun doon sa mga matanda muna eh.
Talking about hati, nahuli nga kami ni Triggerman dyan eh. Payola na yan eh.
Nagsasariling sikap kayo.
Hindi kasi 'di ba yung sabi ni Bob yung hatian di masyadong it wasn't it wasn't fair. For lack of words to say.
No, it wasn't equitable.
Hindi, alam mo nung papunta na tayo sa ganung usapan, napapatingin na si Braggy, tsaka si Andy, tsaka si
Oo nga eh.
si Hendrix.
Ano yun?
Anong pinagsasasabi nito mga to?
Tapos siyempre, itong mga Chekwa, itong mga Chinese, di ba? Siyempre, mga negosyante yan businessmen. Alam nila kung saan sila mag-i-invest. So, di ba? Di nag-invest sa akin, nag-invest kay Trigger, dinagdagan ngayon yung envelope. Umalis. Nagpuntang Amerika sino yung brother Howard? Sinutol ni Howard?
Si Jameson.
Jameson.
Jameson. Siya ang nangasiwa at that time because Howard, who used to do it, went to the States. Hindi niya binilin, pare. Si Master T, taga-Cobra.
Ayos.
Nakita niya. Mole, Triggerman. Bakit may...
Ayos,
So, yun
no?
ang kwento. And then,
Oo.
umalis ako LS. One morning, tumawag si George Boone. Nasa Cool 106 siya, kasama niya si Bob. So, punta ako sa Cool 106 kasi hindi ko naman matatanggihan yan si George Boone eh. Kaya nung nasa Neo ako, nandun na rin si Bob, kukunin dapat to si George. Ito naman si George, snabero. Ayaw.
Kukunin mo ako, gusto mo ako magbayad sa inyo. Ano ba yun?
Singit ko lang, Miss Pe. Oo nga, sayang.
Oo nga,
Tayo tayo eskwela ulit next time. Thank you, Miss Pe.
Ano nangyari kay Andy? Ba't nawala?
He was bored with my story.
Si Andy, ayun.
Yun.
Hello!
So, ayun.
Umalis na
Good
si George,
morning.
umalis na si Bob.
Hoy, tama na. Haba na ng kwento mo. LS pinag-uusapan natin eh.
LS.
Kinuwento mo yung buong career.
Okay.
LS, naalala ko yung heartbeat pagka
Mega disco.
nagre-remote kami. Yung, meron akong ano dun eh. Meron akong katarantaduhan eh. Hindi ako nag-host.
GRO? Yung GRO?
Gusto mo ikwento?
Ayan na naman, porke ako yung kinakausap niyo, babae na naman yung... Hindi!
Hindi.
Eh, ayaw nila mag-host. Ayaw ni Master T, ayaw ni Fred James, ayaw ni... Nandun na ba si Jimmy Jam doon? Doon ka na, Jimmy?
Oo, nandun na.
Danny R.
Ako.
Siyempre, ako dahil baguhan ako eh.
So, nandun ako. Merong, tama-tama, yung one of our sponsors was yung Rejoice.
Hindi, yung isa, huwag na natin pitin yung kumpanya. Basta yun, sachet ng shampoo.
Rejoice nga.
Hindi nga.
Bawal ba yan?
Letrang T. Basta yun.
Huwag mo nang banggit Palmolive, ano ka ba? Tapos.
So they were,
Tapos, and then, like, I was describing the package, and to me, it looked like a condom. You know, yung packaging, di ba? So I said it on there. Bulilyaso na ako. Asa LS pa ako na. Ano pa ba?
Kaya sumali na siya sa cool pagkatapos.
Monakiki, naalala ko to.
Monakiki.
Yoya, walang ganyanan. Si Dr. Yoya is tuned in. Yun.
Ay, Yoya.
Teka, let's go to Handy Andy, who assumed a different persona in another radio station. Naging naging general. Tapos ngayon,
General Andrew P.
he's a farmer. He takes care. He has a ranch, an Airbnb ranch in Zambales. Andy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. George. Kamusta kayong lahat? Good morning, everybody.
Good to have you again.
Oo nga.
Again.
Dahil
With a
Casey
different
kasi
name.
kasama din siya eh. Oo, no?
Oh.
Yun yun.
Pero nag-umpisa ako sa LS talaga. I really began my radio career at the giant WLS.
Kayong mag-asawa yata sa kung hindi ako nagkamali.
Ni Jimmy Jam. Yan siya yung lola ko. Ay, yung mentor ko.
Si Jimmy Jam ang mentor mo. Ayun.
Yung sinasabi ni Mol na mahirap pumasok sa LS, totoo yan. Kasi kami nila Jimmy Jam nag-audition din yan eh. Ako yung isa sa 450 na nag-audition. Nakapila sa labas ng GMA, nakaupo sa sidewalk. At as early as 8 o'clock in the morning, naisa lang ng alas 5 ng hapon. Amoy araw, amoy EDSA na. Yun.
Tapos siningil pa kayo, no?
Siningil.
But
binentahan ng ID picture.
Hindi, wala pa, t-shirt pa lang yata yun eh, binibenta. Hindi ko alam kung monakiki or blowing bubbles yata yun. Anyway.
Ang babastos ng mga produkto dati, blowing bubbles at mga nakiki.
May mona ka na?
May damit ka pa.
May damit ka pa.
Tapos, And then anyway, so napakahabang audition talaga. By around 6 p.m. Naka second or third round auditions na. Naalala ko nag-audition sa akin sa ad-libbing sa Plaka si Mol. Hindi ko makalimutan tong kasi ayan sige, ad-lib ka na. Yan. Yang sinalang niya Hall and Oates. Kasi umiikot, hindi ko mabasa ng maigi. So sabi ko, yan, ad-lib, Hall and Oates, everything your whole desires. So yun na lumabas. Everything your whole desires. Ayun, kaya nakuha dahil sa butas.
Yan ba yung butas ng karayom na sinasabi?
Yun.
Butas ng plaka yun.
Butas ng plaka.
Tapos ayun, out of the 450, ang nakuha 5. Si Manny, si Jimmy Jam yung pinag-board kasi may experience. Tsaka may experience din siya sa radyo. Yun, kaya
may ibig sabihin yun.
Tapos ayun, he got me under his wing to train as a DJ on the Giant before it was campus radio. Yun, so 9 months ang training, masaya dahil binabayaran kami ng t-shirt, ng mga shampoo, gano'n.
Libreng
Concert tickets. Libreng
Birch
concert.
tree, wala na.
Duran.
Hindi, yung birch tree pinamigay ko na kasi lactose intolerant delikado. Ayun, so masaya ang shift ni Jimmy Jam noon 9 to 12. Kaya after sign off ng 12, diretso kami sa Jazz Food Center sa may Quezon Ave. Ayun, Bogchi, extra rice lagi. Yan.
Just food.
Ano yan, may lang. Ibang klase din yung yung mga audition. I guess I consider myself lucky. Paano ako, pumunta lang ako kay LBJ. Sir, gusto kong pumasok ng ALS. What's your name? Di sinabi. Sige, mag-board ka mami yan 12 midnight hanggang 5. Yung una niya sinabi sa akin. 12 to 5.
Wala.
Sarado pa yun.
Hanggang 12 lang yung LS natin, di ba?
Hindi, 24 hours si Mercenaries yung 12 to 5.
Okay.
So,
Kaya ko punchline
12 to 5. 12 to 5. Nung natapos na akong 5, uwi na ako. Pagdating ko sa bahay, nagbe-breakfast ako, matawag yung LBJ. Mag-board ka ng alas 10 ng umaga. Sira ulo talaga eh, no?
Ganun ka agad?
Oo. So, nag-board na ako alas 10 ng umaga. Ayun. So, gano'n na nangyari sa akin. Wala nang audition. Okay, let's go to another, yung youngest. I don't know if I'm correct if I'm saying he's the youngest, si John Hendrix. Pinakabata o ano? John, how did you get into LS? Sa hirap ng buhay, sa hirap ng pagpasok doon, nakapasok ka. Paano nangyari yun?
Sobrang swerte yung pasok ko sa LS. At that time, campus radio came up with this very, very innovative concept called campus DJ, campus aircheck. Campus aircheck. It was the very first radio station on FM to give students the opportunity to go on board. So I was part of, I think, batch 2. Si Braggy was part of batch 1 in time na yun, and kabatch ko si Joe Spinner. And so we trooped over to si Miguel, si Koji. We trooped over to the GMA studios at that time, and we had our auditions in the small technical booth. I remember we were
Big Day.
With Vic Day, but my audition master was Triggerman, and I hope that he can catch up and join us today.
Excuse me, Triggerman. Speaking of, he's in the dentist.
He's at the dentist, with Maven, is his daughter.
Yeah, with Maven.
Sana makahabol. So si Milo or si dentist.
Yeah, yun nga yung pinakabunso sa mga panganay niya.
Maven, bunso sa panganay.
Mga panganay. Gusto ko yun.
I remember that day very clearly. So Triggerman was the audition master. We were all very nervous because these were radio legends who we had only heard on the air. And so Triggerman asked me to do an ad lib, and I did an ad lib. I remember about Metallica, and you just run down the names of the band members, and you do something. And then I was very lucky because Milo didn't even. We had a paper, a sheet where he would recommend you to come in for a callback for a second audition, but he just signed it, approved, and I was in. So that into the aircheck batch. I consider myself very lucky because Triggerman and Mole and Jimmy Jam really guided us through the through the process. And I remember when we were asked to come up with names for ourselves, you have to come up with an on-air radio name, and I came up with all sort of bullshit names, and and none of them
Parang
really.
mole.
Like the mole, mga ganun.
None of
Mole.
Johnny Baby!
yeah.
Frequency!
He came up with sort of bullshit names.
Manatilang nakatuto!
Yeah. So yung nangyari, bigay ko yung listahan ko. Si Mole was the guy who was going to. Simol was the one going to approve the name. So I gave him a list of names. He said none of this is gonna pass muster. None of this will do. So he said, what's your real name? I said, well, my whole name is John Hendrix Hernandez. He says, John Hendrix, that's your name. That's it. Your name will be John Hendrix. So Mole gave me my name on my on-air name because it could have been a lot worse. So there you go. That's how we got in. So very, very lucky. DWLS is very, very big part of my life, of our lives, and even now, several years on, you find yourself somehow thinking about being in front of that console and playing music for people who love good music. Almost every day the thought enters your head. So yeah, very big part of our lives. Glad to have been part of it and honored to have been part of this fantastic assembly of broadcasters. So,
Galing
yun
mag-English,
yung
no?
kwento, Sir George, ha? Yeah?
Magaling mag-English.
I learned from
Oo
the
nga,
best.
eh.
I learned from the
galing
best.
mag-English, eh.
I learned
Teka,
from the best.
yung kabatch mo, si Koji, how did you get into this?
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Hi. It's a privilege
Hi, Koji.
being here. Thank you very much for the honor, Sir George. And of course, I'm in the presence of all these greats, Sir Bob, Sir June, Sir Tony, everyone here, Jimmy, of course, Andy, Braggy, Sir Manny Mole, and of course, John. Well, I started out, actually, I was in a different course altogether when I got into LS. Yung typical story na yung kaibigan mo gustong mag-audition tapos sinamahan mo lang.
Tapos
Yun
ikaw
yung nangyari
nanalo.
sa akin. I had my friend,
Tapos ikaw yung kinuha.
my friend from high school was like auditioning sa LS. That was campus aircheck, of course, for the second batch. Sinamahan ko lang. And during the time, and I owe a lot to this guy for checking me for that, is of course the Mole. Siya yung nag-interview sa akin nung time na yun. Kwentuhan lang kami. Actually, it didn't feel like an interview. Nagkwekwentuhan, just asking me, so where are you from? Ganon. So
Type ka niya eh.
very gentle questions. Yun. Tapos,
Hindi kayo
yun,
hawa ka sa tuhod.
yeah.
Tarantado si George po.
Of course, after that, yun. After that, I found out I got in. My friend, of course, the usual, hindi siya nakapasok. Pero he's a doctor now, so goods na kami. Okay na siya. Tapos, of course, that's where I first met John. Who's basically, pag nung nag-usap pa lang kami, click na kagad eh. So, John's been my friend ever since.
Kayo pala. Kayo na.
Sorry. Ganda ng mullet niya nun eh. Ganda ng book niya nun eh. Naka-mullet pa si John nun eh. So actually, all of you guys had mullets at the time, if I remember right. Usong-uso yung mullet nun eh. So yun.
Doon ba galing ang the mullet?
Galing din ang mole.
Exacto. No, yeah. Mole was also responsible for giving me my air check name at the time. It was Miguel. So tinanong niya sa akin on air, what's your name? Give him my name. What's your nickname? I said, my friends call me Miguel. You look like a Miguel. You look like a Miguel Rodrigo. Rodriguez pala. So sabi, Rodriguez my real name. So sabi, mukha kang Miguel Rodriguez. Sige, Miguel na lang.
Rodrigo yun eh.
Sabi ni Mo. Ibang genre ata si Miguel Rodrigo eh.
Baka si Bing Rodrigo tinutukoy yun.
Oh,
Yun.
si Miguel.
So after that, there was a series of lessons learned during aircheck. Nagkasama kami ni John during one show, and thanks to Jimmy Jam, na pinayagan kami mag-tandem ni John. That was like the first time we really enjoyed going on air.
Just kidding.
Jimmy got in trouble for it, so sorry Jimmy for medyo napahamak si Jimmy nun eh. After
One of the
our-
smaller offenses.
I'm used
Yeah.
to
So, syempre, after that, syempre, each batch yan, there can only be like one victor. And that was John. So, John became the official, yung representative ng batch namin for one. I moved on to another station. I worked there for like 4 years. But I cut my teeth really in LS. And then I owe a lot. My career basically started in LS as aircheck. So I owe a lot to the station. Of course, to Fred James, who basically was the father of us all during that time. Well, yeah, for our batch, siya yung tatay namin. So he did a lot of us, took a lot of shit for us, of course, but yeah, he was there. So it's what tama what Mold said, what Andy said. Ang hirap talaga makapasok ng LS. And when I came back later on, when I left my previous station, John mentioned that there was an opening. He vouched for me, kay Fred, to come back. And then that's when I came back as a DJ in LS, as Joe Spinner. I got Joe Spinner kasi buo na yung mga IDs eh, mga IDs ng mga DJs nung time na yun. So may Jimmy Jam, may Mole, may John Hendrix, meron na. They had 2 names left over na ginawan na ng producer at the time ng IDs. One was Joe Spinner, the other one was Tony Candy. So pinili ni Fred, Joe Spinner ka na lang. So yun na lang binigay sa akin. Kompleto na.
Buti na
Tony
lang.
Candy.
Tony
So
Candy.
yeah, I've spent a good 11 or so years in LS. So
Whoa.
doon talaga, that's been my home. That's been my home at the time until nawala yung LS. Yon. That's everything I've learned, yung natuto ko na about the real industry of radio. Yeah, sa LS talaga yan.
Yeah,
Binigyan
that's
ka ba
what.
ng pera?
Wala yan. Huwag kami, ay.
T-shirt lang yun, inabot.
One thing you could say about LS talagang yung you really cut your teeth in that radio station, no? And one of those who
natanggal lahat eh.
who became very successful. Of course, no, he's on top of the heap sa home radio now. Braggy, how are you?
Hey, brother!
Hey!
Yun, no?
May applause pa.
Yun.
Thank you very much.
Good
Good morning.
remember,
Yeah,
excuse me,
hello
no?
to Bob, George, Brother June.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
You know, I remember. Fred used to ask me to give some pointers to hold seminars for those campus DJs or whatever. I never got paid. Were you one of the were you one of the students there?
Yes. Me and John, I think. Yeah, we attended several.
I think I remember you. So, John, Braggy, how have you been?
I'm good.
What's-
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
So,
for asking.
How'd you get into
okay, so
LS?
how do I start? Okay, I started LS was my first radio station. I was discovered there, and I auditioned for the campus aircheck. Just like what John mentioned earlier, GMA7 WLS-FM gave this opportunity to aspiring DJs who are still students. So I took the audition. We were like 350, and then I trimmed down to 27. I heard the names who made it on radio. It was Triggerman on the evening slot who mentioned. Sabi ko, nako, parang di na mention yung name ko. 25, 26, and it was my name at the last. So we went to the station. Ayan. Sorry, nag-skip na ako. Nag-audition muna kami, and then they called us na trim down na kami. So we were a part of batch 1. So on my first board work, I was guided by Fred James. Siya yung parang nagka-guide sa controls. Okay, here, these are the knobs, the turntables, blah, blah, blah. So raise the volume of your mic, okay, and so on. So nervous ako kasi station manager, Fred James. So he guided me all throughout, and it happened every weekend until, the rest was history. You can ask me I forgot the rest. But so we were there every day, and I hang out with Danny or at night. Sabi niya, you hang out in my show. Doon kayo mag-greetings. I can give you like a 30-minute span.
Pinakain ka ni Danny Hour.
Introduction to the songs and all of that. So that's how I
Danny
live.
Hour.
During the afternoon naman, when I go there after lunch, it was Triggerman there and Jimmy Jam. Sila yun ang bubuli sa akin noon.
Danny Howard.
And si Bolden.
Danny
Jimmy
Howard.
Jam,
Danny Howard.
Triggerman.
Well, within
Danny Howard
character
talaga.
naman ganun talaga.
So in the afternoon, sabi ni Triggerman sa akin, one of those afternoons, sabi niya, pare, anong pangalan mo on air? Daddy Hard. Sabi ko, I don't know, siguro Braggy na lang, oh. Sabi ni Triggerman, hindi, ang pangalan mo na lang Hill. Tapos tawa ng tawa si Jimmy Jam. Sabi ko, bakit Hill? Hill Billy Willie. Tapos tawa sila ng tawa. Hill Billy Willie ba? Kaboses ko daw si Hill Billy Willie from the other radio station. I didn't know that, I resembled to his style. Pero parang hindi naman. So, these guys kept on laughing and then, so, Braggy came about now. Yun na lang yung name mo, sabi ni Triggerman and Jimmy Jam. Braggy na lang. It's unique, it's easy to recall, short lang, and wala nang halong Yeah.
Walang halong biro.
Nice, no?
Nagsimula
You know,
Nagsimula yung panahon na
So
yun.
there.
Maigsian na ng pangalan. So, yun. Nadamay na siya.
Ikaw naman, Bob.
Pero,
The Bug. Paano ka naman nag-umpisa sa LS?
lumayas ka.
Okay, naghang ba?
Pareho ba
So
tayo?
there you go. So
Pareho
during
tayo ng
the
kwento.
air check, we learned a lot. To ad-lib, to
Ay, sorry.
to stop talking.
To stop talking.
He did not.
Nag-adlib pa pala.
Nag-adlib pa eh. Ako
Isa na.
kamo, George. Di ba, tagal kong puro kung ano-anong trabaho ginagawa ko sa GMA nun.
Hindi.
As in
Kung
floor
anong
director,
trabaho,
writer.
kung anong trabaho pinapagawa sa'yo.
Yun.
Palang ganun
Wala
nangyari.
namang bayad eh. So, okay lang. When George left to form Kiss FM, doon ako binigyan ng break nila, ng grupo nila, Fred, nila Tito. Sumalangit nawa pareho, by the way. The show is dedicated to them. By the way,
Yeah,
si Fred
Fred
James
and
at si
Tito,
Master T. Yeah.
Fred is my best friend. No? Grabe.
Oh, yeah. At tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang inuman kahit nung lumayo na si George tsaka yung mga grupo niya sa Kiss. Nagsasalo-salo pa rin kami somewhere in between. Kahit nga ako, pagkatapos ng midnight, si Jiggy, nagiinuman pa kami afterwards. Mga alas 12, alauna na yung nagkikita kami. Oh, well, anyway, yun yung kwento. So, pagdating sa LS, mga 1985 na yan, nung nagsimula ako, binigay sa akin yung Jazz Downbeat Special. So, si Triggerman, pumipinch it lang pag Wednesdays. Akin yung show na yun for Monday to Friday. And then, weekends, di ba, it's time to boogie. Umalis ako noong 1988 kasi inalok ako to join, as I said, the other Elephants Graveyard, yung DWKB. So, yun.
Thank you.
Doon ako nawala sa LS. Oh yeah, I know, Jimmy.
Thank you.
So ikaw yung jazz
Nag-audition na kami nun eh.
eh.
Yeah, ako yun. Tapos, yung music jam was one of those things na
Ako din yata. I think
pinaglalaro-laruan
I had
lang namin ni
Jazz
Fred. Yeah, nilalaro-laro lang namin ni Fred yun. Tapos, sige, gawin na nating whole weekend dito. Nagsimula kami, isang Valentine special na whole day. Ang tawag namin doon Bell Bottom Love. Mga love songs ng 70s. Maya, after that, tumuloy-tuloy na yung idea. Sige, tayo, paatras na tugtog. Hindi pa tawag retro nun eh. So, ginawa namin pag Sabado. And I had rock salad nung panahon na
Ayun, yun ang idol ko, rock salad.
Yeah, rock salad.
Buti na
Okay,
rin,
rock
sa akin
salad.
pinagawa. Si Fred was the voice. Pero yun, ginawa na namin yun. So, tinuloy-tuloy na namin, ginawa na namin paatras. So, somehow may connection kami sa mas matandang generation.
Actually,
And
LS pa ako, iniisip na namin ni Fred yung rock salad na yun eh. Talagang baby niya yun eh. Yun ang ano doon.
Yung kasing The Rock Years na syndicated show, pinitas-pitas ko na yung mga material at saka, well, playlist at saka script sa akin, si Fred yung voice. Siyempre si Big Day nagmi-mix.
Oo. Yun naman,
Winner Jack.
Going back to this is a testament na yung grabe yung training ng LS, no? Paano, because of the success of you guys, and one of the most successful, of course, is June Banaag here. June, when you were in LS, John B pa ba ang gamit mo, no, na pangalan?
John B. Right.
John B, no? And then eventually you metamorphosed into Dr. Love. Ano, sa RX muna. Di ba?
Oh, nag-RX
John-
go from WLS. I to RX. DWLS, RD Dale, Divine Pascual, June Barrero.
Yes.
And then from RX, I transferred to Zoo Radio,
Yeah.
Back hours
ABS na. ABS-CBN.
Oo.
ABS hour. And then from that FM station, I was pulled out. Nalipat ko ng MF. Then I left.
How did it
in
feel, yung
19
transition?
Mahirap from FM to AM eh. Kasi sa
Aha.
AM kailangan wide reader ka, alam mo yung topic, alam mo yung issues of the day. Para pag upo mo, meron kang pwedeng sabihin. Pwedeng music lang.
Spelling pa lang, iba na eh.
Spelling.
Nakakatuwa. Yung mga, the names that you mentioned, Lydia Villegas, I don't know if inabot nyo si Rick
De La Rosa.
Si Kakando.
Si Kakando.
Kakando.
Oo, si Kakando.
Dalia, ang sabon ng mga artista.
CY Gabriel. CY
Oh.
Gabriel. Help.
Skin Blitz. Pampaputi ng pekas. Di ba yung mga
Rick Kakandong was a product of the ABS-CBN also.
Yeah, Radyo Patrol si Kakando, di ba? I think?
Oo, Radio Patrol.
Mm.
Yun. It's very hard transition from FM to AM. I don't know.
But look at you now, no? You're one of the most successful. As a matter of fact, if we're talking about following, yung following ng Dr. Love, sobra yan eh. No? Grabe na yan.
Hindi, marami.
Hindi nabago lang
At saka,
siguro nabago yung image from yung the irresponsible DJ nung araw. You know? When I came back in 1997, nabago na yung presentation.
Maganda ano eh.
But si Brother June, of course, sandigan siya eh. Sandigan ng mga tao ngayon siya eh. No? Well, everybody comes to him for guidance, enlightenment. Sabihin na natin gano'n. And nandun yung purpose at saka nakapeg siya dun. And it's much appreciated. At saka nakakatuwa, nagaling siya sa pop radio beginnings.
Oo, yun naman.
Yes. All through the years, kasi matagal na rin eh.
The nice thing about it is, sinesermonan mo yung listener. Kunwari, mali yung ginawa. Mali ko naman dyan, di ba? Yung mga gusto.
Lalo yung pambababae. Naka!
I think I introduced a different kind of counseling. Different from, remember Helen Taylor and
Yeah,
things like this. Jadeli. When I came back in 97, ginamit ko yung bagong style because in LA, there was an anchor, Dr. Laura Schlesinger. She was also a counselor on radio. Ganun ang style niya, talagang papagalitan ka. You know, you're stupid. You know, so I used to hear, sabi ko bago, hindi yung sweet type na Helen Dela, you know, just willing to listen to you. Pag mali, sabihin ko na kagad talaga. So, they liked it. Pero dami na ngayon sa FM.
Excuse me si Triggerman, laging pinapagalitan ni Fred James dati. Papasok si Fred James sa booth. Milo, ano ka ba? Kumakanta na yung singer, daldal ka pa rin ng daldal.
Hindi mo pigil, ano?
Was it the case, Brother June, nung nandun ka sa LS? Si LBJ ang in charge nyo, who's Lito Balquedra Jr., by the way.
LBJ, yeah.
Stricto ba siya nun?
But our music was different. LBJ was always strict. Grabe naman talaga ang LBJ. The music was different. Hindi yung kagaya ng music ni Mo.
Yeah.
Iba yung sa amin nun eh. We had Edie Gourmet, mga Robert Goulet.
Oh, Edie Gourmet. Yeah.
Cry Sinatra, Andy Williams.
ng Sinatra.
Pero,
Tapos-
mataas na rin ang rating namin nun, WLS. And until they shifted to different,
Ang ganda pa ng frequency ng LS. It's right in the middle. Nasa gitna kasi 97.1 and 97.9.
very clear. Malinis.
Malinis.
What set apart also WLS were the jingles. Alam ko yun ang pinaka very catchy. So kahit bagong listener ka,
the stolen
So,
jingles.
mga ninakaw kasi yung mga jingle na yun. WLS Chicago. Chicago. Pepper and Tanner pa yun, George.
Best music.
WLS. Tatatata. Chicago.
sino yung sumisigaw ng Giant? Si Mole ba yun? O si Fred?
Si Mole.
Mole.
Sa banyo yun ni-record habang may ginagawa siya.
Constipated siya, no? Kaya ganun.
Constipated.
Kaya sumisigaw.
Tinutulak pa yung pader habang ginagawa yan.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Pwede
hey,
bumate.
George, Bob, before I say,
Thank you,
goodbye to
and
Ay, teka. Magpapaalam si Jun.
Oo. Batiin ko lang yung isang kaibigan natin from Los Angeles, California na palagi
Marianne.
nanonood sa atin. Marianne Hilado. Kasama ko yan dati sa
Marianne. Yes. ABS-CBN.
Southern California right now. Hello, Marianne. And hey guys, maraming salamat sa inyo. Really very honored na kasama ko kayo. And,
Jun, thank you. Thank you.
Product of WLS. I'm really proud to be a part of that station.
Grabe, parang goosebumps pa yun.
Thank you guys. Maraming
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. See you again. God
Brother
bless you.
June. Thank you.
George.
Brother Jun, thank you.
Salamat.
Kailan ka
Thank you,
pupunta
guys.
ng
See you
Jerusalem?
later.
Kailan ka pupunta ng Jerusalem ulit?
Pag nag-open
Huwag mo
na,
kami pagalitan.
sarado pa rin.
Yeah.
I'll
Ayos.
see you guys.
Bye.
Thank you po.
Thanks.
Right.
Okay. Ted, kamusta ka?
Oo nga, Ted.
As usual.
May tao pala.
Katulad nung araw, nakikinig na ako sa LS. Di naman ako nagsasalita doon di ba? Just listening sa LS. Pero tatanong ko, sabi kasi ni George, bukod dun sa pagiging DJ sa LS, naging voice over siya ng mga show ni Kuya Germs. So tatanungin ko yung iba, may naging racket ba kayong iba sa GMA while in LS?
Yes.
Racket.
Si Mol may kagagawan yun Kasi si Mol
na
dati,
naman.
voice over ng lunch date yan.
Yan,
Diba?
si Paul.
Lunch date yan.
Oh.
Pleasant Tuesday morning! Welcome to lunch date yun. Si Mol yun.
Si
Tapos-
Triggerman din, di ba? For student canteen, matagal. Tsaka Discorama.
Discorama.
Okay. So si
Bobby
Mol,
Ledesma.
sa lunch date, tapos pinakasan niya sa akin. Di ba, pre? Dahil nagka-racket ka sa probinsya. Tama? Tapos gumawa siya ng kasulatan kay Win Magalbante. Sabi niya, I'm recommending my colleague in LS to take over my voiceover duties, etc., etc. So ako naman nasabak sa lunch date. And then when lunch date ended, naging SST. So, syempre, they rolled it over na rin. Tapos from there, sumanga na rin sa may ibang shows ni Direct Vincent. Kasi he used to direct a lot of shows. So naging VO na rin ako ng Pangalan ng Kampiyon, which was tape live.
Si
Vince Dibucho.
Dibuncio.
Si Direct
Co-writer ng magkaisa ni Tito Soto.
Yung lumalabas sa TOC tapos naninigaw sa floor. Yan.
Nagmumura
Si
yun.
Direct Vincent yun. Tapos
Mumurahin ka.
so naging
Murahin.
naging VO na rin ako sa Tanghalan ng Kampiyon. Naging VO na rin ako sa ibang some of the usually mga ibang GMA shows na remote and then later years later, I became the VO also of SOP. And I have Charlie to thank for that. Kasi si Charlie Y ang talagang VO ng SOP.
Si Charlie
Ismael.
Si Charlie Ismael.
Talagang Mael. Si Ismael.
Also, si Charlie.
George sabi nun.
Nag-sub kasi yun sa Paranaque. Tuwing linggo yung SOP. So, lagi siyang late. Tapos siguro sila, kailangan nila ng VO, tas wala. So they called me in. Kasi 15 minutes away ako from GMA. So okay lang. So they would alternate between the times that Charlie would come in and then they'd call me in. And then also when SOP has special out-of-town shows, they would also get me. So on-call ka na lang. So tanggap. And then of course, since you're the VO there and hanging out in the studio, hindi ka naman lagi nag-VO lagi naka-standby ka lang. Tapos may lalapit din sa'yo na Jimmy Jam, nagbo-voice ba kayo ng ABP? So, siyempre, hindi mo naman kilala pero okay lang. Racket.
Yan yung version niya ng 150, yung mga ganun.
Yun. Mismo.
Ito, 150.
So yan, ilang pages yan, gaano kahaba, ilang minutes, magkano po yung so doon na yun. So those are some of the things that the opportunities that arise from being a VO. So there. So maraming salamat mo.
So alam ko si Braggy meron din eh. I'm not sure
Braggy,
about
di ba?
Andy, si Koji, tsaka si Jan. Kung meron silang bracket sa GMA. Kasi nako-corner na nila.
Ako SOP din.
Jimmy tsaka ni Braggy yung market.
SOP ka rin, Braggy.
So double B ba? Ikaw ba
Yes, I've been doing voiceover for SOP mga 7 years. Yeah.
Sino yung Saksi!
What's that nakat?
Saksi! Sa double B. Yung mga ganun.
Yeah.
John yun.
Si Jan meron?
Naman yun.
Ayun, so si Jan meron din pala eh.
John Hendrix. John Hendrix.
We were all very lucky to have been given these opportunities inside and outside of GMA, of course, because of our jobs at WLS. One time, me and Vic Day, we went into the booth and we did a bunch of production VOs for DZBB, which you can still hear today.
Good morning. Ikaw ba yun?
Super Radio. So DZBB.
Intro ni Chino, ikaw pa rin eh.
Yan. Karen, they're all still using it. It's overmodulated, very aggressive. OA.
Manatiling nakatutok.
Super Radio.
Simol ba yun? Simol, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Saksi. Parang double.
Pero ba't hindi sila nagpapalit?
Sampling pa, yeah.
Boses.
Well,
Traffic sa DCWB. Ang ulat traffic ko ay natin sa inyo now.
Yes, that's it.
Baka naging trademark na. Yeah, yun yung trade. Palakas na yung recall.
Kaso yung pinagkuhanan ng trademark, wala na dun eh. Di ba? So, dapat somehow may bayad pa kayo eh.
There's no such thing as residuals in Philippine radio.
Royalties.
Royalty. Wala.
Yeah. I remember nga, nag-voice rin ako dati, movies to watch. Yung sa GMA naman, movies to watch. Ganyan, di ba? A collection of ganon. Pucha, wala na ako sa KISS, wala na ako sa ABS. Naririnig ko pa rin ganito na yung tunog eh. Uy,
gas na yun.
Gongo na.
Gas na yun.
Uy.
Anipis na ron.
Pero alam mo, George, thank you.
Super analog.
Thank you ulit
Nagtunog bataan matamis eh.
Thank you ulit kay George Wood kasi dating merchandising voice ng GMA yan si George. Umalis siya. Ako pumalit.
Then, napunta muna kay Fred, tapos napunta sa'yo. Dumaan muna kay Fred.
Talaga, tayo rin. Umiikot lang.
Hindi, totoo yun. Doon lang umiikot.
Oh, eh. And which is the advantage really of being in a big network. Oh,
Yeah.
Kaya si Pedro, si Peter Musky, Peter Rabbit, di ba? Radyo, ayun, biglang napunta sa TV nung wala na si Frank Evangelista. Ganon din eh.
Sa BBC.
Tapos si Andy Santillan sa ano nun, di ba?
Channel 9.
Channel 9.
I love you.
Pero nasa DMZ kasi siya nun.
Don't you know?
Oh.
Yun.
If your boyfriend
If your boyfriend, if your boyfriend's not listening, ano yan?
get out and
Ayun.
F.
Balayan mo na.
Joe Spinner, teka.
Yes, sir. Sa amin
back
naman.
to you.
Yeah.
Ito,
Teddy
bra,
back to you.
maganda rin ang boses ng Joe Spinner eh.
Uy, marakit yan.
Thank you.
Ganda racket.
Salamat.
Ano racket nito?
Usually
Wanna
pag nasa
buy one,
booth ka
Joe?
sa LS, usually when you're in GMA, pag on-board ka, DJ ka, nagdi-DJ ka sa booth, usually may lalapit sa'yo na taga-TV eh. So, yung mga usually production staff, pag short sila sa boses, kailangan nila ng voice-over, pupuntahan ka. Eh usually, yung slot ko nun graveyard. So, yung mga lumalapit sa akin, yung mga taga-unang hirit, mga ganun. Sir, pwede nyo i-voice tong segment na to. Tapos, usually, voice mo. Kala mo maikli lang. Yung pala, 4 pages long.
Mga pahabol.
Hindi mo alam mo, paano ako napunta rito? Ba't ko so,
Oh no. Tapos puyat ka pa, inaantok ka na. Ganyan.
Puyat ka pa.
Oo.
Puyat ka pa. Yeah, pero, well, yeah, of course, GMA offer.
Pero may TF ba yun? May TF ba yun?
Yun ang tanong.
Yun ang tanong.
Yun ang
Oo.
question doon.
Masakit pa na. Sir, pwede isa pang take? Okay, take
Yeah.
75.
Oo.
Ang daming take. No? Safety ho tayo. Safety Tapos bibigyan ka lang na almusal kinabukasan.
O GC. Usually GC.
Grabe.
ba?
Easy.
Ayun. Tapos,
Dati
yung
kumain naman kami.
Pero pare-pareho lang yung mga takes.
yeah,
Oo.
pare-pareho lang.
Pareho lang yung mga
Well,
takes. Oo.
Yung nangyari naman
Oh
sa amin
no. Yeah.
ni John, since yung affiliate ng GMA, yung Alta Productions, doon kami napasok. Dubbing naman. So usually
Sa
mga
gitara.
cartoon, mga ganon. Yung si John, yan, sikat yan sa Detective Conan role niya. Yung
Yeah.
Parang
sa
Just go-
may role.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually doon kami napasok. Na sa GMA din umiere. So that was one of the pluses of being a DJ in LS kasi it was easier for us to transition to those fields, those other fields in voicing. Siyempre, may mga voiceovers sa labas. It helps talaga when, lalo na pag galing ka GMA, may reputation kasi yung mga LS jocks din na, ano yan, one-man army yan eh. So, marunong mag-produce, marunong mag-voice, marunong magsulat.
Yeah.
So, yun yung trait ng LS DJs talaga yan. Everyone knew how to do the job. Any job. Basta,
At saka ang pinaka ano doon, saksakan ng mura, di ba?
yun. Bargain.
I have to laugh. I have to laugh.
Yan, dami bonus.
That's it's Misery Loves Company. That's,
So still, if people are wondering where Triggerman is at, dahil nga yung
Right,
dentista,
yeah,
di ba?
yeah.
And not too many people are asking, pero si Danny R should be here. Kaya lang
Yeah.
may problema rin siya with technology yata. So, hindi siya makapasok.
Kala ko may problema siya doon sa sabungan niya.
Well,
Sa
yun
sabungan,
na yun.
wala raw fax
Hindi
machine
pwede
doon.
online sabungan eh. Hindi
Danny
pwede
R?
online sabungan kasi.
Danny had
Fax
one
machine ang
of
gamit
the
ng
nicest,
Omron.
Fax machine.
Hirap magsalita sa
Danny
fax
had-
machine.
Buti hindi
had
ano,
one of the-
telex.
Di ba sa newsroom dati ng GMA?
Kausap mo yung fax machine. Hello, hello.
Hello?
Teka.
Wala.
Sabihin muna natin to. Our viewers, no? Let's say hello to them.
Hi.
Joseph Espedido. Hindi pa tayo
Dami
nag-uumpisa
niyan,
na
George.
dito na siya, no? Triggerman, naging type kita. Ah? Naging type kita sa school? Ah. Michelle Michelle
Vincent.
Vincent from South Carolina. Hey, Mitch. Yoya, the
Mitch.
doctor. No? And then Alo Diaz Tanga, Rochelle Marcelo, Catherine Amore, no? Suzette, and then Oscar Philip Zapanta, Rachel Marcelo, Rochelle Marcelo, Tita Ganda from Florida, she's a regular, and then Aaron Santos, who else? Zach Alvarez. Zach Alvarez, familiar yung name na yun, ah.
No? Lagi na
And
sa
then,
atin.
no? Maria Teresa Donado Calataba, and then Mabel Flores Macaraeg. Who else? Ang dami, grabe.
Parang
Ito,
campus air
no?
check lang eh, no? Yung tawag doon.
Alvin Bina,
Yung mga
Ed
student
Barbosa. Pass the phone. Ganun, no?
And-
Don't
and,
change that. Don't touch
Ange
that frequency.
Velasco,
Wow.
Arby Evangelista,
Yan.
Angelo Vincent, Celeste
Usually
Vázquez,
meron tayong taga-basa eh. Hindi tayo.
Oy.
Goldie
Pass the
Chua,
phone.
Maria Teresa Abril, Lani, Alvin, Marianne,
Di ba? Sa cool lang uso yung pass the phone. Eh.
Pass
Catherine,
the phone.
dami.
Dati,
Jocelyn, Miguel, Carl, Ed, Zach mention mo na. Reynaldo, PJ,
Si Michelle, is a regular also, no? Grabe yung si Michelle, every weekend.
Ako nga pala, no? Nanonood sa inyo palagi yun.
Yeah.
So,
No. Yang Romulo, hello, no? And of course, people are asking, as early as now, kung pwede raw yung mga campus, ano yan? Tawag nyo doon? Yung campus air check, line jacks ba yun? Paano, I don't know if a lot of people know this. Some of those who went through the LS process was Delamar.
Nawala ako.
And then King DJ Logan.
Logan.
Yun.
Oh, no.
Carl
So,
McFly.
si Carlo, no? Carl McFly also. So probably what we can do in the future is invite all those people also.
Ayun,
join
line
us para
jacks yung
naman,
tawag
ano.
sa kanila.
The line jacks. Yun, tama. Thank you, Mitch, for that. And that's good. That's going to be a very interesting segment also, no? So, episode.
So who were
Very good.
who were abused, who were violated, at saka who were,
by
who were exploited. Mga ganun.
Nandun na lahat.
We were willingly exploited, willingly exploited.
Speak for yourself, John.
Yeah. Willing victims, exploit
Willing
us.
victims, eh?
But
Willing victims.
That's an awful experience.
guys, Lucy Slattery. Si ano to, di ba? Si
Hi,
Lucy.
Luz. Hi,
Uy,
Luz.
si Luz nandyan?
Oh.
Okay.
I see about...
Yes,
dami.
Very nice, no? We should do this again and again. Bakit si Andy parang nahihilo? Paikot-ikot lang yung picture.
Tumutugtog na round and round. New order.
Si Joe Spinner and John Hendrix is the... what happened to the radio station?
Oo nga.
Are you guys coming back on air or wala na?
Which one?
Yeah. Your radio station. Are you still on?
Yeah, you're still on.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, after LS kasi I went to nung nagsarado yung LS, lumipat kami sa 99.5 at the time.
Yeah.
Of the whole group. Tapos after a while, after 99.5, I stayed on in 99.5 after the group left. So I stayed in RT for siguro mga 13 years na ako sa network na yun. From RT I moved to K-Light. I managed K-Light for a while.
Yeah.
I was referring to K-Light.
There.
Taas
K-Light
ang
went off
K-Light.
the air. Yeah. It went off the air nung start ng quarantine.
Pandemic.
But it went on the air early this year. Pero yun, no, sadly, medyo wala na kami doon. Na-retrench yung buong staff, kumbaga. So,
Mahirap
yeah,
din.
yeah. Well, that's an effect ng panahon ngayon. I mean, the pandemic really had its effect on not just our business, but across the board.
And but it's still on air, or it went off the air?
It's still on air, yeah. Still on air. So yung ginawa namin, yung pinaghirapan naman namin nandun pa rin. So,
naka-data ko eh.
Yeah, di ba, no? It's supposed to be on there, di ba, George, Bob?
Yeah.
Once you cease operating, then
For 1 year,
CFTC, di ba?
your license gets revoked.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Oh.
That's why I had to go back on the air kagad. So,
Yeah.
Oh. What about you, John? Are you still active on radio?
No.
You should be.
My last, the last time I was on radio I was very lucky to have been with the Mole and Triggerman at Neo Retro last year. They invited me over. I can't say no to those guys. So we went on with Bob, and we put on a good show. And then COVID struck, and I had to beg off. But you know, so but I have to say, you listen to radio now, and you tend to miss the voices of these masters, because it's more than just music. You know, you can listen to Spotify all you like, and it's a cold place. Until you hear someone giving you playing your it's a cold place. Unless you hear someone presenting you your favorite music like nobody else can, and that's what the DJs do. You know, they don't.
And to add to that, John, yung essence ng programming. Kasi walang programming yan eh. Madaling maghakot ng kanta, pero mahirap i-program yan ng basta-basta.
Right. Yeah, so
DJ makes the difference.
It DJ makes a difference. We learned all that from our seniors, from Jimmy and the Mole and Triggerman and Bob and
si Jimmy na yung kumakain ngayon.
Sir George.
Kumakain mo.
Yeah. We learned all that. So you look for that. Yeah. You look for that when you listen to radio. You look for that.
Yeah. Like Braggy, you're on top of a home radio now, right?
Sa bubong yun, kung home.
Yeah.
Hirap doon.
Si Braggy,
Lalo na tagulan na.
Yes, I'm the station manager. Yeah, and also the head of marketing. Sa rooftop yun, rooftop.
Bubong, top of
Siya
home.
Kaya, yeah.
Siya yung nagkukumpuni ng mga alulud. Yan, mga ganun.
Bulkasil.
Teka, Braggy, so what form do you have now for radio?
Para sa rainy season, hindi makalat. Para sa lahat, yeah. Yes.
Excuse me.
Anong format nyo ngayon, Braggy? Wala, naglalag.
Well, easy listening pa rin kami. We're playing 70s, 80s. Yeah. Easy listening music. We play the best of 70s, 80s, and a little bit 90s, yeah.
Lahat naman kayo dito umabot ng 70s, di ba? Somehow. So, hindi na masyado alien.
Isipin ko ba?
How many years ago ang 70s? 50 years?
50 years ago.
Matagal isipin yun.
Yes, I think 50 years now. 50 years na.
Can you imagine, a lot of radio stations until now play 70s music. Di ba?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, a lot of kids
the market is getting old.
No, the market,
hindi yun eh. Kung lalagyan mo ng
even the young kids, ganun pa rin eh. They
kung
sing
ipaparallel
old
mo yan,
songs.
George, let's say it's 1990 now. Parang kang tumugtog ng 1940. Di ba? Ganun laking diferensya.
Yun na nga eh. Like, ang oldies natin ngayon yung Coldplay eh. Kung tutusin.
Yeah.
Yeah, medyo oldies na yan, yeah.
Bakit? George Boone.
Hindi ba? Yun ang unless you're into BTS.
Why not? Choknut?
Some of them.
Alam kong BTS yung magazine.
Binibenta
sa Avenida. Tsaka Scarra. Yun ang BTS.
May magazine palang BTS.
BTS.
Kung ngingisi-ngisi kayo dyan, may alam din kayo dyan.
Nakatago pa sa teritoryo yun eh.
Bob, tapos yung...
Para may gusto sabihin, hindi masabi.
May sinasabi talaga.
Hindi lang yun. Hindi lang yun ang binibenta, meron pa.
Hindi, pero when you listen to
Ano,
BTS,
swank.
pag nakinig kayo sa BTS, you hear the sound of the 70s and the 80s,
Yeah.
and the funk. You hear the funk. So
Actually,
Yeah.
Medyo,
yeah.
Actually, Bruno Mars. Eh.
And some Queens.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars, yeah.
Bruno Mars.
By the
Lalo
way,
na.
By the way, ito, shameless plug. Listen to my masterclass on Spotify. I'm tackling that. It's on my 3rd episode already. Life of a Boomer
Wow.
in the BTS era. Yun.
Saan yan, George? Where do we see that? Where do we find that?
Podcast yun eh,
Spotify.
podcast.
Spotify. George Boone's
Ano?
Masterclass. George Boone's
Okay.
Masterclass. Ayun.
Ako din mag-shameless plug mamaya.
Yes, please. Ganyan, ngayon na.
Oh.
Si Bob,
Ayun na.
may shameless plug.
Ngayon na. Okay, so if you see my backdrop here, you might see it says BPM Manila. So me and a couple of DJ friends have a Kumu channel that
Sa Kumu. Okay.
yes, on Kumu. It's called the BPM Manila. And every so often during the week, we go on, we stream a live mix. So it could be different, could be house music, could be retro,
Really?
80s, yes. Could be new wave, could be anything. Could be jazz. So check it out on Kumu, BPM Manila.
BPM
Like,
Manila.
share, and follow.
Bob
Hindi
has
BTS
one.
Manila, BPM.
BPM hindi BTS. BPM. Oo. Tsaka hindi yung BTS ng panahon ni Baba.
Oh.
BPM yun.
Hindi.
BPM Manila.
Si-
Tonight I'll be
si
on
Mo-
at 6.
Para tong beats per minute.
Oh, yes. As in beats
Yun.
per minute. And it's
That
all
makes
about
sense.
music. So I can say hi to you guys if you like, share, and follow. Tonight, I'm thinking about, since it's Independence Day, baka mag-all OPM ako tonight.
Pwede.
Si Bob,
Independent days eh.
Why not?
Si Bob perpetually OPM. Gusto yung sa kanya sa Zeno.
Hindi OPM yun sa akin. It's working man's music yun sa akin, sa Zeno Radio.
Akala ko OPM.
Hindi,
Kasi
may halo
parang-
yun. Meron mga pampansitan na tugtog doon. Yung mga turn around, mga ganun. Pampansitan yun. Tsaka yung mga reality, mga boulevard. Mga ganun yung tugtog.
Anong klaseng
Ang
concept?
pangalan ng program, ang station is Juke Back. J-U-K-E-B-A-C-K.
Joke back.
Sa
Juke
Zeno
Back.
Radio. The link is
Parang hit
in the
back.
YouTube version of this show. Juke Back.
Okay,
Galing.
May ano kami, may estimate niyan.
It's a 24/7 station na tumatakbo lang.
Okay.
Pero ano yon, mamimilipit ka siguro kasi depende sa taste mo eh. So kung yung ano mo takot ka doon sa mga kanta ni Eddie Peregrina, mamimilipit ka talaga.
Meron din
Marami.
To love the
Oh, no.
flowers.
The flowers, the stars are bright, Yun.
Bata pa kami niyan. Bata pa kami.
Yeah.
Have we heard it?
If I fell in love with you,
You would rise to
heaven,
heaven and nature sing.
Diba?
Oh,
Yun,
magsaya. Ganun.
At magdiwa.
Grabe, oh.
Yan. When the
Hindi,
girl
gusto mo
in your
nakaka-
arms,
ano, may komentar?
Soon it will be
it
Christmas
will
Day.
be
Yun.
Christmas Day.
Yun.
Yan. Tayo lang nakakaintindi ng joke na yun, lolong-lolo na eh.
Sa mga nakababata, yun,
Pwede.
kila Braggy, kila John, si Mol nag-umpisa ng karera sa Binit, sa kanto Binita Ascaraga, Recto. No? Pag dumadaan kayo doon, bumubulong yung radyo. Boss, bedtime.
Boss. Si Mandy may kopya. Mandy Angeles, hello. Pwede magpa-grab. Pag-grab na lang dito. May nakita raw siyang kopya.
ng ano?
BTS.
Yan. Yan. BTS is in bedtime
Next
story.
question please, Teddy.
Okay. Eddie.
Yes. Allowed ba kayo noon?
Oo nga, no?
Allowed
I
ba
forgot
kayo
he's
noon
there.
na
Ng BTS?
magkaroon ng hindi, sariling commercial minute aside from your TF?
Yes.
Ah,
There
very
was,
good.
there was, yes.
Yes.
Meron kayo? Hindi ko naabutan yun.
Meron na ba tayo na, George? Wala.
Hindi pa yata uso nun.
Ako meron na nun eh.
Meron.
Alam ba nila?
Meron na ako
Alam
nun.
ba nila?
Oo.
Alam ba nila?
Oo. Oo.
Meron.
Alam ni Tita Lydia at saka ni Kakandong yun eh.
Tsaka ni Cora.
Cora.
Tsaka si Aling Cora.
Cora. Cora. Cora Noses.
Tsaka si Manang Rose.
Manang Rose, si Aling Mary. Mga nandun.
Mary bakla yun eh.
Mary.
Ay, alam mo yung
Mary bakla yun.
ito naisip ko lang
Bakla
kanina,
yun,
yung booth ng LS. Para siyang para siyang eksena sa sitcom, yung booth ng WLS. Laging meron papasok, magkakaroon ng sitwasyon. Pagkatapos may aalis, may papasok. Depende, pwedeng artista,
sitcom,
pwedeng executive ng GMA. Sino doon ang pinakamaraming punchline sa mga pumapasok doon sa booth? At saka alis din kaagad magkatapos ng joke.
Ako si Tony Seba.
Tony Seba.
Tony Seba.
May kanya-kanyang single out eh. Braggy, merong idea kung sino.
Minsan lang.
Siguro si Manang Rose sa amin. Anytime papasok yan. Manang Rose.
Si Manang Rose kay Braggy. O, si Joe.
Si Big
Mayor
Day.
Soul, rest in peace, yeah.
Si Big Day, yan. Si Big Day.
Zero.
Ginagawan
Si
Di ba
Omlo.
papaalam yun eh. Habang naka-board ka, biglang may kakalikutin siya sa likod, sa ilalim ng console.
Ha?
Tapos nakasimangot, di ba?
Likod mo.
Nakasimangot yun eh.
Kinalikot
Yeah.
ka ni Big Day.
Ikaw, Mlo.
Day.
Sino?
Si Big Day.
Si Big Day.
Siguro si Delia din, ano?
Zero. Yung gusto ko si Vic yung yung zero.
Mole si Delia.
Yung
Zero.
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 Oh.
Number 0.
Saka si Big Day, si Megaling.
Megaling.
Banquet. Banquet.
Tsaka yung di ba? Sorry Vic kung nakikinig ka. Si
Love you,
Bap.
Big Day.
Bap ang pangalan ko sa kanya eh. Tsaka si Pret.
Hi, Vic Day. Vic Day may tenga yan, no?
Pret,
Si Bap at si
patugtukin na natin Raksalat.
Oo. Dati kasi nagtatrabaho yun sa recording company eh. Kaya mahilig sa click site. Ba't ikaw gawa tuktok click site ha?
Sino yan?
Click side.
Vic Day.
Flip side. Click
Bob,
site.
total, pinag-uusapan natin yung booth ng LS. Kasi nakapasok ako sa booth lang ng Double B. Malaki. Mas maliit ba yung booth ng LS? Tama ba?
Nung panahon ko kasi iba pa eh. Nasa baba kami nun lahat eh. Na magkakapareho lang ang sukat ng LS, recording booth, tapos Double
I
B.
think it's bigger, a little bigger. Malaki na
Bigger
parts.
yung part nasa tayo, mezzanine na, malaki na. Malaki in a sense na
Hindi, yung sa mezzanine kasi that was a drama studio before eh.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
sa
I think, that's true.
That was a
Yun,
drama studio.
doon ako nakakapanood ng mga kinakatok-katok yung bao para maging ng kabayo.
Dati may parang
Yeah.
pero yung sa buhangin para sa mga sound eh. Kala ko kitty dito eh. Sabi ko, ba't may buhangin dito?
Sadya yung para umuulan. Yan.
Tapos,
Tsaka yung tapok mo ng kabayo.
ang tawag nito, pag kunyari, sinundan mo si Fred James o sinundan mo si Daniel, parang ayaw mo munang pumasok.
That's
Kasi-
also
Rusok.
Kasi ang daming usok.
Akala ko, sasabihin mo, amoy lupa.
grabe.
Grabe.
Si Fred nag-uumpisa yun. Tatlong kahang hope eh. Si Fred.
Tama. Hope.
Bago
Preferred
matapos
niya
ang
yan,
programa,
preferred niya, Hope.
nagpapabili pa uli ng ng 2 kaha.
Bago siya umuwi.
Grabe.
Grabe.
Yung tipong hindi pa ubos yung isa, sinisindihan na yung susunod. Saka niya papatayin yung
Alam mo, sa LS ako natutong yung tuloy-tuloy manigarilyo sa simula nun. Pero after 3 months, natigil na ako nung tuloy-tuloy. Alam mo kung bakit? Ang daming nanghihingi ng sigarilyo kaya tumigil na.
Kala ko for health reasons eh.
Hindi eh. Tumigil ako dahil sa kahihingi ng mga nandun.
Grabe sa GMA yung Yossi noon eh. I remember si Edgar, Edgar Barcialo, no, yung sa
Nako,
merchandising.
patay
Yes.
tayo dyan.
Artist yan eh. May nakasindi. Maya magsisindi. Minsan tatlo yung nakasindi. Oh.
Hindi niya alam.
Hindi niya alam.
Akala niya
Ulit pa.
Lucis.
Si Fred Hope.
Dragon, yeah.
Oh.
Uy, Army, hello. Pamangkin ni Tito. Yeah, of course I
Si
remember.
Army. Hi, Army.
Army, hi.
Uy, hi. Hi,
Hi,
Army Santos.
Catherine.
Yes.
Hello, Catherine. Faye. And, sige na. Pasadahan ko na to. Kawawa naman to.
Banat.
Oo, sige.
Liam, Mandy, Nino, Miguel.
Gallagher.
Si yung anak ni Fred. Anong pangalan nun?
Si Jack. Si Jack.
Jack?
Chris? Miguel to eh.
Hindi, iba. Hindi yung pamangkin niya yan.
Natawa si Jack. Carl. Hi, Carl. Nabanggit na ni George tong iba. Sino yung,
Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Sino yung si January? What's his
Si
real
Jan.
name? What's her real name?
River.
River. I don't know.
Hi, River.
Yun.
Maria Teresa. Anne, hi, Anne. Reynaldo. Yang. Hello, Yang. Great to have you with us. Teka, may replay to, di ba? Bob, George.
Mapapanood nyo sa YouTube to after this.
Anytime.
So, yeah.
Anytime.
Anytime naman to
Oh.
Tapos may
Hello,
podcast
Gia.
version pa. Audio lang.
Cecil. Hi, Cecil.
Wow.
Thank you,
Teka.
Ange, for the chicken empanada.
Bakit kami wala? Asan yung chicken?
Yeah. Kinakain mo, kanina pa no?
Teka, matanong ko, no? Paano nyo nabola yung marami mga pumupunta sa inyo nakatambay, tagasagot ng telepono, tagasalang ng cartridge, na wala namang bayad? I mean, they were there religiously every day.
Yeah, voluntarily. Probably if they're
Yeah.
love for the station. Yeah.
I remember there's one who came all the way from Assumption pa yata, no? Tapos had to take the commute going to LS.
Just like John said, really
See, George. George, while you were in LS, did you start teaching in Assumption or after you actually left LS?
After LS na. Oh,
I have a
was in
friend
KISS
who
that
has a
time.
friend. Parang REO Speedwagon.
A friend of a friend of a friend.
Oh, friend of a friend.
Take it on the run.
I think she was one of your students, and then she's actually anticipating the show. I learned from a friend as well. Basta estudyante mo daw yata sa Assumption.
You got a name?
Nawala eh. Angela, do you have a name? Binanggit
Sinabi mo na yung
kita.
pangalan.
Sabi
mo na yung pangalan.
Yung tinatanong ni George. Basta. Actually,
Thank you very much.
Ikaw yung
Ito yung gusto kong comment kay Ninyo. Diyan
Ako.
nadali si Mul.
Saan nadali?
Ha?
Next question, please.
Nice. Smooth.
Thank you for that question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that question.
Joe Spade, hindi ka naman na culture shock dito kila Mol, kila Jimmy Jam. Yan, kila Fred James.
Nung umpisa, nung air check. Pero yung first day pa lang, after that, nawala na eh. Next day, nag-yos na ako, umiinom na ako. The previous day, wala. Mabilis na acclimatize eh.
Ayun.
Nahawa ka kagad.
Oo.
Nag-adapt na to the habitat.
Hi, Leah Navarro.
Very unique ang culture ng LS. I mean,
Oh yeah.
maraming even taga-radyo hindi nila naintindihan ang culture ng LS.
Kasi
Kung galing kang LS, hindi na naintindihan yan eh. This is something that you'd understand only if you came from that station also. And bakit? Also part of its success also. Kung bakit ganyan.
Tsaka para tumambay sa LS, kailangan hindi ka pikon.
Iba yung sense of humor ng mga tao doon eh. No, I remember I was on board one time. Si LBJ was still our boss. Eh di, usually, pinapatay pa natin yung ilaw, di ba, para dim lights. So I was reading the news.
Yeah.
Kaya lang may ilaw pa naman. No? I was reading the news. Dumating yung LBJ, pinatay lahat ng ilaw. Di wala akong makita. So I lit my lighter para mapasa ko. Di siya rin, sinindihan niya yung lighter niya. Kala ko
Pero sinindihan
tutungan
yung
ako,
script
hindi.
mo.
Sinindihan yung script ko. So napabilis yung napabilis yung
Ginawa
news.
na-
Pasa mo.
Ginawa ni Master T kay Fred James din yan habang nagbabasa si Fred.
Grabe yun, no?
On air, sinindihan ni Master T yung script niya. So naghahabol si Fred, minadali niya kasi ilalim ang nasusunog.
Oo.
Tapos sa pagkataas, baba niya yung script. Bag!
Pero,
Patayin niya.
Hindi.
Okay.
alam mo sa totoo
Ito,
lang, that's how we all started actually. You know, we wrote down what we're supposed to say.
Yeah.
Diba? Tapos eventually, second nature mo na.
Right.
As you went
Hindi.
along.
Ang masakit pa nito, pagkatapos ng news ko, tinamatay yung okay na. Wala nang apoy, no? Tutugtog na ako. Wala nang karayom yung plaka. Yung turntable, tinanggal na yung karayom. No?
Yeah.
Si Master T yun. Si Master T.
Saka iniiba
Si
yung
Tito
speed,
lagi yun. Si Tito yun, iiwanan ka ng ganun.
iniiba yung speed ng turntable.
Ako, pinakagrabe ginawa ko, pinakagrabe ginawa ko, tinanggal ko yung kable ng mic ni Fred. So salta siya salita, wala naman naririnig.
Dati si Danny R naka-board, tapos may pinapatugtog. Turntables tayo dati. Kasi pag yung SL12, pinatay mo yung power, tsaka bubuksan mo ulit. On the road, mamamatay siya, pero dahan-dahan lang. So, yung tugtog niya, patapos na yung kanta eh. So, para para iba lang. Yung bunot niya eh.
Kaya lang hindi niya inabutan yung naka-cartridge lahat ng kanta.
Yeah.
Naabutan.
No.
Yeah.
When I started in LS,
Some of them.
bawal ang No, that's not an 8-track. That's a full track cartridge.
Yeah.
Iba yung 8-track ng kotse.
Iba yung
Full
track
track.
eh.
Anyway, kaya...
Malaki ba? Mas malaki?
Hindi, pareho
Buo
lang.
lang yung track.
Oo.
Hindi na nagpapalit ng
ang-
channels kasi isang channel lang.
Kaya ginagawa yun.
Diretso lang.
Nasa cart lang yung kanta. No, para pwedeng iksian yung kanta. Ang maximum number of minutes namin nung 2.5 eh.
Para sa isang kanta.
2.5 minutes. So you can play 21 songs per hour, yung mga ganon.
Kaya kantayin mo nga, George, yung Let's Make a Memory.
Oo.
Kasi lahat ng kanta payola, kaya putulin mo.
Unang chorus pa lang, tapos na yung kanta, fade out.
Hindi namin naabutan yun.
Alala ko
Start pa lang, wala pang vocals, tanggal na yun.
Nakikinig ako sa LS dati eh. Yung mga tipong first chorus lang. Susunod na kanta na Ito lang, bitin.
Kaya doon ko
Nadatnan ko
inutusan yung
yung
mix eh.
Segway na.
Kaya nag-mix na ako para medyo maganda naman. Tiwagan nga ako ng isang recording company. Pare, pakantahin mo naman.
Si Fred kay Milo, no? Fred kay Triggerman, eh. Milo, pakantayin mo naman.
Naalala ko yung mga the track cartridges where we would have our stingers on campus radio. It's Master T. That would be the voice of the mall on campus radio. It's a Triggerman. And there was a time when Master T and Triggerman played the prank on each other. We're playing pranks on each other. Triggerman
Would play it,
would play it.
Change the name, or labels.
He would cue it. He would play it just a little, so the cart would be cued to the wrong part. So when Master T went on board, he would put in his cart. He'd play his instead of on campus radio. It's Master T. When he would play it on the air, he would go T. Tapos gaganti si Tito kay Triggerman. Si Milo naman, when he puts in his cart, man. So on the air it sounds.
Buti hindi
End part agad eh, no?
Pagpindot ganyan, mga kababayan, pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
May ginawa yata sa akin ni Jimmy Jam yun. Ginawa ni Jimmy Jam sa akin. I was about to start my show, biglang parang sign off na end of the day.
We have come to the day's end.
Yeah.
Let us read from the
You have been listening to extra.
Tapos tinawagan ako ni Braggy sa bahay. Day off ko yun, umaga. Tapos tumawag siya.
Tulog pa siya.
Pinalitan mo ba yung yung ID card ko? Tapos ako naman tawa, tapos binabangon ko siya.
Kino-confirm ko pa no? But everybody knew it was you.
Yeah.
yung comment ng listeners, one thing about pag nasa LS ka, nakikinig ka ng LS, yung pet peeve ng listeners parate, pag nagpa-play ng song, parating sinisingitan ng Triggerman.
Trigger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Floater.
They made a meme about it, right?
Naging running joke yan pag nakikinig na ka ng LS kasi parang may mga tumatawag na pwedeng play niyo tong song na to, pero wag na kayo magsalita. So, syempre, hindi namin gagawin. Ipa-play yung singer. Yung
Rine-record.
claim to fame din ng mga LS yung taga-LS.
Tape nila nire-record sa cassette player.
Pero si Triggerman, he used to be the object of unprintables talaga.
Oh,
yeah.
Grabe.
And it's a totally different from his persona sa totoo, no? Layo.
Well, yeah.
Baliktad.
Napakabait naman.
Sobrang bait.
Ganun naman tayo lahat. Napakabait natin eh.
Walang nag-react.
Tumahimik.
Crickets.
Tumahimik.
Teddy
Walang
Espereña,
crickets effect.
magtanong ka naman, Teddy.
Yes. Yung balik ako doon sa boot. Kasi sa DCWB boot. Di ba merong naakusahan doon eh? Tatandaan mo ba?
Boot.
Doon ba sa LS meron din?
Nanakaw.
Contexted yung double B, ano yung naakusahan doon?
Nang parang sexual harassment.
Simol ang tanongin mo dyan, Simol.
Small tanong mo.
Di ba yung mga DJs maraming fans na babae, di ba? Na pumapasyal din sa radio station.
Hindi. Graveyard ako eh. Puro multo yung nanghaharas sa akin eh.
Sabi ni George,
Danny R, pasok.
Sinusutan
pa. Danny R, posible. Si Danny Hard, Hindi sumali. Danny Hour.
Kaya siguro hindi siya makapasok dahil natatakot sa ganyan tanong.
Silosong matanda yun.
SM yun eh. SM yun eh.
Silosong
May pananda
matanda.
kay Danny dati kasi pag nakapusod daw yung babae, sa kanya ang punta.
Bakit?
Yun yun. Ewan ko, preference. Siguro, pag may pumasok nagbisita, kasi nakatali yung buhok.
Si Master T.
So si John Hendrix, doon kagad kay Danny.
Punta ako na siya.
Si John Hendrix.
Nakatali pa rin.
During yung auditions, we were all outside the driveway, a bunch of students, and everyone was in uniform. I was wearing. I came from UP Fine Arts, so I was wearing torn jeans, black T-shirt, and then I felt out of place because all the student DJs were in uniform, looking very very conservative, and I thought I was in trouble. And then out comes the Mole and si Triggerman, and they're going to brief this group of aspiring student DJs. And they are in torn jeans, black T-shirt, and they also have a ponytail like me. So I felt immediately, at home, at home with these guys.
Mga Billy Ray Cyrus ang itsura ng dalawang yun eh.
Yeah, this was before Achy Breaky Heart. So yeah, I felt an immediate connection to my two seniors. Yeah.
My underwear wasn't torn then though.
Pero kaya naging kulot yung buhok mo no? Sinusuot mo lagi sa ulo.
Ang
underwear.
yung underwear.
Yung underwear.
Sagong bonnet.
O George, isa pang controversial na tanong.
Oh.
How did you handle the
Game.
yung payola issue?
Oh, that's not a controversial question.
Oh, no.
Ang daling i-handle nun, hindi ba? Kailangan mo lang.
Oo.
You don't
Nakangiti pa
even
yung
need
nag-handle.
You don't even need a counter for that. Yung counter sa bako. Hindi, ganun lang yun. Oo.
Oh.
Kasi ganun lang kanipis eh. Yung mga senior, ganun kakapal.
Hindi, ang
Wag
sistema kasi doon,
Isang piraso lang lagi.
ang sistema kasi noon, 6, no? Ito ako magdi-distribute. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, 1 for me.
Parang parang criminal lang dating. Kawatan
Ayan,
na kawatan.
yan ang sikreto.
Alam niyo ba kung paano minomonitor yan sa mga recording companies? Kasi
Oo,
ako
marami
nasaksihan
radyo.
ko 2 beses eh. Hindi, isa lang nga radyo eh. Paikot-ikot lang
Radyo.
siya, tapos nililista
Tapos
niya. Ikot, lista. Parang scoring
Hindi,
lang.
Hindi ako
Kaya
sa
lang na
ano,
may isang kwarto sila na iba-iba.
nung COO ako ng isang recording company, isang kwarto.
Isang
Mga
kwarto
8
yun.
yun. 8
May
nakikinig.
budget ka. May budget ka
Hindi.
talaga.
Yung napuntahan mo, Teddy, ano yun?
Small
baka
time.
branch lang yun. Baka branch
Oo.
lang.
Sabi ko, ano kaya
Saka-
ginagawa nito? Pihit siya ng pihit. Tapos parang nag-i-score siya sa notebook.
Mm.
Pero sa totoo lang, in the long run, nagkaroon yata sila ng parang monitoring something section or whatever.
Oo. Talagang may sariling department kumbaga.
May sariling
Ganun na nga.
section na kaya.
Talagang
Tama.
Si Mang Danny Boy.
Monitor
Thank you,
talaga.
sir. Yung mga
Hi,
comment
Danny
niya
Boy.
earlier on, excited siya dito sa show
Daniel
na to.
Escolano yan.
Sino si?
Daniel Escolano. Used to
Ayun,
be
okay.
airchecker also. We used to call him Lifesaver Boy kasi nagtitinda siya ng mga lifesavers.
Alin yung candy?
Yung
Oh,
candy?
yung candy.
O yung salbabida talaga?
Akala ko yung
Lifesaver boy, hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yung interior.
Hi there too, to
interior.
RB Evangelista. Kumusta?
RV, hi. Mandy Canoy, hello.
Si Triggerman, inasikaso yung
Nagpapabunot.
kanyang anak.
Dahil yeah.
Papabunot siya ng buhok.
O binubunot?
Mhm.
Binubunot.
Bubunutin pa lang.
Ang ganda ng pinag-uusapan.
When she cries, inabuta pa ba niya yung when she cries?
Ano ni Mol yun eh, lagi niya tinutugtog yan eh.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, along.
Yan.
Intention.
Ano na tayo nun Mol eh, nasa cool na tayo nun eh.
Nasa Kulamot 6 na tayo nun.
Ilang madalas mong tugtugin niya? Ilang beses ba ang commitment mo doon?
Kasi RCA yun eh, kila Romila Jana pa yun, di ba?
George, twice per hour yun, George. Twice per hour.
Walang yaw. Hindi, kailangan talaga natin mag-part 2 eh. Mag-part 2 dito dahil yung mga line jacks nga. No? Yung mga... Sila Yoya ba? Nandiyan pa?
Hi, Yoya. Hindi. Kanina, last time I saw, she was supposed to prepare lunch.
Para sa atin?
Para sa atin?
Dapat.
Talaga?
Yoya,
Robin.
no need
Hi, Robin.
Yoya.
Dapat may delivery, oh.
Palalabog na yan.
Lalamove.
Ayun.
Alvin. Hi, Alvin.
Si Alvin Okbina. Yan.
Alvin. Ay,
Nandito yung mga nagbukas ng Kuluan 06, Alvin.
May Alvin
dalawa
sa
ni
LS
George.
dati. You remember? Si...
Alvin?
Yeah,
Alvin
Leander
also.
yun.
Siya ba yun?
Alvin Leanderal.
That's right, si Leanderal.
Leanderal yun.
Si Alvin.
Yung, nagsimula yung payat eh.
The guy from Morocco.
Yung lumaki ng lumaki.
Meron pa, Braggy.
Tapos naging long hair, yeah. The guy from Cagayan de Oro.
Yeah.
There's another guy named Bong
Morta.
Bong Morta. Yeah.
Si Bong Morta, right?
Ano alala ni
Batch
George?
nyo yata yun, oo.
Si Bong Morta. Oy, teka. It's almost
Mortar.
noontime.
Bitin, ano?
It's almost noontime. Oh, bitin eh. Hindi, talaga. We really need a
Yeah.
part 2 for this. No?
Part to go.
Let's invite the Telemars of the world and
Sige.
see. I'll try to contact Logan, Carlo. He's in
Yeah.
Texas. No?
Right.
So let's see
Okay.
if we can contact him too. Tsaka si McFly, Carl McFly. ba yun?
Carlo. Si Carlo.
Yeah.
He's in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's here.
But there's this other guy, George, Bob. I don't know if you remember him. John, yung may yung parang pilay.
Si
Jim Jam.
Captain John Allen.
Ayun.
Si John Allen.
Di ba?
John Lemon.
When
Ano ba yun?
John Lemon. No.
Hindi.
Okay,
John Allen.
ibang John,
Tony.
si Lemon, iba yun.
Yeah, iba yun.
Tony daw, sabi ni Mitch.
Sino?
When it
Tony?
came,
Tony.
Tony. Sino yan, Mitch?
dun sa
Tony.
Michelle.
Yung sa auditions, when they came time to decide on who to get, yun yung siya yung yun yung other choice. It was either me or Captain John Allen.
Tony Cabrera daw. Who's Tony
Tony
Cabrera?
Cabrera. Oh.
Kasama mong Tony yun, di ba dati?
Sa RJ?
Hindi, sa MS.
Ha? Hindi ka
Diba,
galit, ha?
si Andy, si Tony, si Bong, tsaka si Alvin.
Si Beng.
Si
Si
Beng.
Beng, no.
Yeah, of course, si Beng.
Si Beng,
She was our listener.
Yeah. Didn't she train for us as well?
No,
No.
she didn't.
She trained for
But
she trained for Andy, yeah.
during Andy's training, that's where they met, and then that's when
That's when Andy trained her.
That's when sparks started to fly.
Yes. Tapos yung nasa training sila, tapos nandun sila sa likod ko, tapos tinanong ko si Andy, training ka pa ba o hindi na?
Aaron. Hi, Mandy. Yan. Wala na tayong utang.
Hello, everyone. Salamat.
Banggit na lahat.
Oo nga.
Si Mandy,
Okay, sa
nakakatawa,
part-
Lord.
George, Bob, ulitin natin to. Pwede?
Dapat,
Yeah.
We really
Pero wag
have to.
ulit. Talagang gagawa ulit. Kasi
Oo.
ulitin lang natin to. Pareho rin yung kwento. Eh.
Hindi,
Dun sa mga-
Gagawa ulit.
Sama natin si Preds James.
Si Preds Jem. Hindi, tsaka si pilitin natin si Danny and si Nilo.
Oo.
Dahil,
Para
naalala ko
mas
na
masaya.
nung sinetap yung Neo di kasama si Bob. Dapat kasama ka, George. Tapos si Tito, he was still alive then.
Yeah.
Tapos si Danny. Alam mo sagot nila?
Retired na kami.
Retired na kami.
Ako rin naman,
Let's do it again
Si John
sometime.
din, retired na technically nun eh.
Let's do it again. Teka, parting words. Let's start with Braggy. Braggy, thank you so much
Hindi na
for
ba
joining us.
makabalik si Andy sa atin? Hindi na, no?
Hindi, may
Wow.
technical issue daw siya.
May may.
May
Oo nga, di
technical
nakabalik na.
issue.
Technical issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Braggy.
Okay. First, thank you very much for including me here. It's nice to see you guys again, and we want you to know that we learned a lot from you guys, and having you as part of our start in our career and shaping us to what we are into now. We'd like to say thank you to all, kay Jimmy Jam, kay Mole, kay Bob, yes, and of course Sir George Boone. Thank you very much. And it's been great pleasure to be part of 97.1 Campus Radio, WLS-FM. Doon kami nakilala. That's how we learned how to do things. And that helped us get into the career that we wanted to get into. And luckily, I could say that, I'm still in radio now, and we'd like to invite, the guys who are watching us right now at 979 Home Radio. It feels good to be home. We have a show called Morning Melodies. I play the best of 70s and 80s love songs, or 70s lang pala, and the groovy ones kasama din doon. We have what else? OPM highlights at 12 noon. Pinifeature natin yung mga banda and mga local artists natin, mga Filipino artists are all in there. And of course, smooth rhythms. It's a little bit of jazzy, sexy, jazzy, cool 80s, 90s your music in the workplace and at home. That's perfect for the corporate world. But since everybody's working from home, it still matches what you might be doing at home. It's still relaxing, easy listening, and yeah. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here, and good luck to everybody. God bless. And
Alam ko,
John,
mga tawag sa
Braggy,
mga
and
fans ni
Phil
Braggy.
Skinner.
Alam,
Nice
may
to see you.
pangalan na ako sa mga fans ni Braggs.
Ano?
Brag addicts.
Ano?
Braggy Bunch.
Braggy.
Braggy
Brag
Bunch.
addict.
Braggy Bunch.
Oh,
Hindi,
ano
Braggy
yung
Bunch yan. Braggy Bunch.
Dati Braggy Bunch yun, di ba?
Braggy
Yeah.
Addicts, pwede.
Oh.
Pwede yung
Ang hindi ko naman,
Yes,
ang hindi ko lang
pero
maintindihan.
Oh,
Ang hindi ko lang maintindihan, sabi niya, thank you Mole, thank you Jimmy, thank you Bug, thank you Sir George Boone. Ayop ka rin, ano?
ikaw naman masyado.
o sige, syempre yung mas may edad, merong ano ibang level yan eh.
Respetado ka niya. Kami, hindi mo.
Teka, baka dapat si Modern Sir Mole. Yan.
Okay, teka, si Joe Spinner. Coach.
Yun. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Sir. George. Since ayaw mo ng Sir, sige. Thank you, George, for inviting us here, for putting this together. And it's a great platform for the kids, of course, to learn what radio was and what radio is. It's an evolving medium, and it's really great to touch base with the group that basically was part of the station that is the station has been part of what we are as professionals on the air. I mean, we learned all that we need to know about being broadcast professionals in LS, and it's a great tribute to the station, the brand, and of course the people behind it. Sir Fred, wherever you are, more power to you. Thank you for leading us back then, and thank you to everyone here. The privileged few who got into LS, who got the privilege of being on the air in LS. I salute you, my brothers. Thank you very much for being there, and thank you for the support. And of course, the listeners. We wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the listeners. Syempre. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Koji. Let's go to John Hendrix.
Yes.
John.
Thank you very much once again for inviting me. It was really, really great to have seen everyone here today again and to reminisce. Also, I'd like to thank my seniors, si Jimmy Jam, si Mole, Sir George, of course. See, the funny thing is, I never met Bob in LS, but in the short time that we were able to work together in Neo Retro, I learned so much still. So it's a process of learning, and whatever we did learn from LS, it became the foundation for our future success. Tama yung sinabi nina Jimmy tsaka nina Mole na you learn to write copy, you learn how to do merchandising, the hard work, the putting in the hours, rain or shine, signal number 3, floods, you walk through that door, you do your board work, you're there for 12 hours, you pinch hit for your colleagues, and it's a great training ground, and I can safely say I wouldn't have the mental stamina or the endurance to go through the everyday shit that is part of our reality. If we didn't learn how to deal with that when we were younger in WLS, I'd like to also say that I'm very, very thankful. The station itself, was unique in its way. You have other stations who made a lot more noise. For example, like our friends from NU 107. These guys made a lot of noise. But what people fail to remember is that LS almost single-handedly held up the flag for OPM at the time. We would play all the bands. We would support them in a big way, just because of the sheer range and power of the campus radio, the giant LS brand. Also, the innovations that LS was able to put forth, like the Great Music Jam. I can still remember the first time it came out, exactly where I was listening to the Great Music Jam. I was in a jeepney, and we were along Commonwealth, and we were passing the Iglesia ni Cristo, so Central. I remember exactly that this concept of playing retro music was unheard of on FM radio at the time, and the LS was the one who put that forth, completely original stuff. And the station continued to do that, an innovator in the broadcasting industry in the Philippines, and I'm so glad to have been part of it. Thank you, Sir George, Sir Bob, Sir Teddy, for making us part of today's little very very meaningful reunion. Before I stop, I'd like to also give a shout out to one of our mentors who's not present here this morning. See Triggerman.
Yeah.
Triggerman, and then of course Fred James and Master T. Fred James was a fantastic station manager. Even today, the question we ask when we make decisions is, what would Fred do? Si Master T, he had, he really taught us how to deal with people. He had a fantastic sense of humor, a prankster, and there's so many great stories that we can attribute to Tito. And of course, the Triggerman, who's still with us, of course. But
Buhay pa.
he's still with us, thankfully. And he when we left RT, when we left RT a few years, about 10 years ago, he took me under his wing, and he taught me how to do events, and so now that's my business now. I'm virtual events, and thanks to the mentorship of Triggerman. So I love all you guys. Thank you very much for inviting us here this morning. So and to all the listeners of Campus Radio, even though it's no longer on the air, I hope that you will continue to maintain that frequency. Thank you.
All right. Jimmy Jam. Your turn, Jimmy.
Thanks for inviting me, George, and also to Bob. And great to see you guys all over again. Also, Sir Teddy, thank you for having us today at the Boomers Banquet. Especially the guys I used to work with, Brags and Miguel, and of course John. Great to see you guys again after such a long time. And also my compare, pare. Thank you for being here also. Thank you for being there all these years, and thank
Sana
you
na
for...
utang ko dun sa inaanak ko.
Ikaw ang ninong pala.
Oo, tsaka yung inaanak mo. Ano na? 30 anos na yung inaanak mo.
Hindi ka nakikilalanin nun.
Wala na yan, di ako kilala na. I must be in my mid-40s, huh?
Yeah.
He was
But
born in the mid-40s.
Great of George and Bob to put this together. This has been a long time coming, and it's really great to see you guys again. And although we're no longer working together, I really miss the time that we did. And we, like John said, we indeed learned a lot. Not just them, but myself as well, especially under the tutelage and guidance of Fred. Bless his soul. He was really a great station manager and also a great program director. Later in life, when I was given the chance to program direct Retro, the first incarnation, I learned a lot, and just like John said, what would Fred do was always the question. How would he do this? How would he approach these challenges? And I really learned a lot from him. And I remember there was a time, reminisce tayo ng konti. There was a time when John Mayer came on, naging sikat siya, and the first single was actually No Such Thing. And Fred didn't put it in. He put in Back to You, which was the second single. So I said, Fred, no such thing. And then he says, and typical of Fred, he's a man of very few words. So, dyan siya. Yossi, tsaka na, he says. And I didn't really get it why, but later, that's how I realized that mas pop yung back to you, mas accessible kaysa No Such Thing, which is also a really good song. But if you really wanna grab the audience attention, you go with the more pop-oriented na song, and he was right. So those are the things that I use. And then I also remember si Fred put me on in the morning at 5 to 9, and then minsan nahihirapan kang gumising sa umaga, and then I there was this one morning that I was late, and I remember we had a conversation about putting John on the morning shift na, and then he still kept me on, and then late ako ng isang umaga. 5 o'clock ako, so dapat before 5 nandun ka na sa LS. Tapos magsi-6 pa lang, nasa bahay pa ako, tulog. Tapos may tumawag sa telepono sa bahay, si Danny. Tapos, so ako antok. Tapos sabi na, pre, si Danny to. Tapos sabi, bakit wala ka sa stasyon? Tapos sabi ko, bakit ka nasa stasyon? Tapos sabi ko, wala ako sa stasyon, nasa bahay ako. Ikaw wala sa stasyon. Sabi niya. So that was probably the first and last time that I made it from the house to LS in maybe like 10 minutes flat. And then, of course, I got in trouble with it because of the commercials I missed. Kasi nag-ipon na yung mga commercial morning ba naman So, sign on, drive time yun. So, mga per stop set, mga 5-6 yun. So, 5-6 na commercial, isang kanta, 5-6 na commercial, isang kanta na naman. So I got in trouble with the boss then, but it was really a learning experience. You learned a lot of things, and the things that you didn't think that you could do, like writing copy, scripts. I remember Fred made me do the scripts for Saturday Night Gold. I guess you guys recall that show. It's like it's music that's revolving around one single thought.
Binuhay ba nila yun? Akala ko namatay na yun after na nung nandun ako.
And then I think Bobby used to write that, right?
Yeah,
Saturday
I did.
Night Gold. And then he continued it. He made me write it, and I used to do that also. At syempre, walang bayad, pero okay lang. Lots of things to learn.
What else is new?
Oo.
Everything is new.
LS was a great experience. I mean,
Bago ang lahat.
the best
Walang luma.
19 years of my life well spent yun. And it was really a great run. It was a great trip. And I'm glad that I met all of you guys and worked with you guys there. Thanks, George. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Of course,
Thanks,
not to
guys.
forget Mole. Manny.
Sino ba yung wings na yan? Under your wings. Akala ko babae lang gumagamit yan
Whisper. Si Whisper.
Wing duo.
WLS wanted to shape the future of radio. It never did. But it certainly shaped our future.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Bob. Teddy, thanks, man. There's going to be a part 2, ladies and gentlemen, so you have to watch out for it.
We will have a part 2. That's definite. Teddy.
Yeah. Thank you to the WLS Dish Jockeys and to our official outfitter, si Roy Orjales or Design Makati. Sa Monday po, sa Monday sa Ox.
Nice shirt!
Bisita natin si Roland Castro.
Pamigay na yan! O, bilhin na yan!
Wala pang kapalit. Wala pang kapalit.
Oh. Malapit na. Ayun.
Tawa ka, George. Bob.
Bioflesh.
Teka muna. I wanted to say something. Yung congratulations, yung vlog ninyo. You have one, right, George?
Mm-hmm.
And Bob. And Bob, later on, teach me how to do Zeno.
Oo, sige. Gagawa
Gagawa,
tayo ng show doon.
gagawa
Gagawa ka ng
kami.
No
programa doon.
problem.
Gagawa
Okay.
kami programa. Basta
Very
Pero
nice.
balita mo na yung naka-dial up internet ka kasi. So may
Oh.
Alin ang papalitan ko?
yung internet mo, dial up eh.
Ano mo na yung Steve Bonanza?
Putang ina, hindi ano.
Wala na si Brother June, pwede na magmura.
Good to see you again. John Hendrix, si Joe Spinner, si Braggy, Jimmy Chan.
Thank you,
Hope to
thank
see
you.
guys again. Basta George, Bob, part 2
Part 2, definitely. Bob.
Tapos mag-manufacture ka ng yung t-shirt mo.
Opo.
Hindi, may sponsor kami, pero t-shirt lang.
Okay, no problem. Basta may t-shirt tayo.
Also,
Ganda.
hi to Gina Cordero and JB Bundia. They're
Yeah,
joining
Gina,
us.
yeah.
Si JB.
Oh.
JB
Yeah,
kasama
Gina
natin
is-
sa sandali.
JB?
Sa 104. JB
Teka,
Buendia.
JB Bundia.
Uy, galing yan.
Si JB, di ba galing sa atin yun? Si JB. You remember?
JB yun.
Si Jun Banaag yun. JB.
JB, si Joe Spinner, di ba? Braggy, do you remember?
Yeah, may buen dia nun, di ba?
I know JB
Yeah,
as Cadillac
Jack,
Jack.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Si JB.
One of the nicest DJs I've ever worked with. Nakasama ko yun sa K-Light.
She's now
Agree.
with Jack, right?
One of the nicest
She
guys.
Hindi na. Sa
Ay,
ngayon,
hindi na?
wala. Nagtuturo. Pero nakasama ko siya briefly sa sa FM2.
Sa FM2, yeah. Bob, ikaw.
Blob.
I was anticipating this program kasi napakaraming anecdotes na lalabas na kwento. Especially from older guys like Mole and no one else. Pero ako kasi maraming nakakatawang eksena dyan sa WLS and it's not enough for 2 hours to cover.
Oh.
Alam ko maraming kwento talaga yan at saka maraming masalimuot din na storya which I'm kind of satisfied with. Marami nang lumabas na kwento and it is going to be fun seeing you guys again. No? Sana maulit. At saka yung mga sumuporta sa atin by typing in whatever it is they wanted to say. Nakakatuwa sila. Active sila kaninang-kanina pang umpisa at naduling na nga yung daliri ko because of that. Anyway, thank you very much. At salamat sa WLS for the legacy. Bago naging barangay ito, ito yun. Ito yung mas matibay na version. At alam natin, napakaraming inimpluensya nito na mga bata noong panahon na yon. And I hope it carries on into the next. At saka, somehow tandaan nyo na lang yung mga mukha nitong nakikita nyo rito as well as the others whom we currently as well as constantly pay tribute to. Sila Danny R, sila Fred James, si Master T, si Triggerman who aren't here. Ayun, so magandang barkadahan to. It actually beats any barangay. Masaya to.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, WLS, for the legacy.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, bro.
And of course, to all of you, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I never expected this kind of response from not only from you, but also from the line jocks, those who supported you before. Apparently, they're still supporting you until now. Don't forget my masterclass on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. My 33rd episode just dropped yesterday. So you can take a look at those things and learn something. I talk about radio there. I talk about audio. I talk about public speaking. And lately, my third episode on being a boomer in the BTS era. And of course, next week, another episode of Boomer's Banquet. And pretty soon, part 2 of WLS. You know, we really can't have enough of them. Why? Because they are the giants of FM radio. Thank you. Good night. God bless. Ad Maiorem de Gloria.
Pahabol.
Thank you.
Thank you to